have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY?
I've had.
And unfortunately, every time I make a call, it becomes content for the media.
Help! I've been tossed overboard.
I'll have to bill you extra for my time.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when your head...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is.
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds. Yo.
Tonight we've got something special for you. Tonight we're gonna expose the ecosystem. Is that a poppy seed? You realize I'm your PO, right? Straight to booking.
Was barking on the phone, all that tough talk threatened. Now you looking at the floor like judge, I'm just stressing.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem. Under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY, I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Count it up. That's umbrella guy in the building, run it up. 100K vanish, screenshots vanish. Trust me, bro, contracts, fine print damage. You sold fake dreams, cheap fonts, big schemes. Whole crew talking tough till the light hits the seams. How you flex chrome chains over borrowed bills? Selfie angle hiding them rusted grills. You bark big numbers, but the math don't add. You reimburse every family you scam. You can hide them platinum grails from the truth, from the cam, from the real. Yeah, you can flash that metal and square, but the lies and the fraud don't kill. Yeah, that's umbrella guy. Calling names on the say, every bogus claim, every paper thread, all that tough talk, tight thick caps, and still you can't fight back through the platinum grills. You said we partners, then Then you pick my pocket, turn friends into figures like a broken stock market. Exclusive access, it was copy paste. Whole contract smelling like panic and haste. You spam fake letters, try to scare and pray. Big law talk on the 10th for mail. You serve weak threats on the kitchen table. You're allergic to evidence, dodging labels at it. You can hide them platinum grills from the truth, from the camp, from the real. Yeah, you can flex that metal and square, but the lies and the fraud go bill. Yeah, the umbrella guy, calling names on the set. Every bogus claim, every paper thread on a tough talk type thing. Caps and steel, you can't bite back through the platinum grills. 100K gone, screenshot saved. You gon' see every promise replayed. Every I swear that you typed that day. Fold in the light, can't fake that shade. Run it back, show receipts. You a ghost when the proof hit the feed. You ain't built for the storm, just tweets. Stay umbrella guy, dragging every dirty deed. You can't hide them platinum grills from the truth, from the camp, from the real. Yeah, you can flash that metal and square, but the lies and the fraud gon' deal. Yeah, that's umbrella guy, calling names on the set. Every bogus claim, every paper thread on that tough talk type thing. Caps and steel, you can't bite back through the platinum grills.
What's up, folks? How's it going? Welcome to a Sunday edition. Sunday Fun Day edition. Actually, that's not my thing, but still, it is a fun day. We have some really interesting stuff going on. Did you know last night, the antis were so worked up about things, they were actually talking about burning down the barn and the fence if Jeremy Hale's got it? That's right. Don't take my word for it either. Check this out. This is crazy business, man. I mean, wow. You know, when you get people worked up to the point when they're like, I was talking about if you don't wait and pour more into the barn, you know, the fence, get it or burn it if he gets it. Burning the barn. They are talking about torching the barn if Jeremy Hales wins. That's absolutely crazy. They were talking about repoing the fence too. You know, last night I found that really interesting because when they're talking about repoing the fence, yeah, they said, if Jeremy wins, I'm going to repo the fence. Well, that means they don't think that Lynette Preston actually owns it. Isn't that interesting? You know, so apparently when somebody fundraises and put something on your property, they not only own you, apparently, but they own a piece of your property, too. Isn't that weird? Huh. I've heard some crazy things, but like that's some next level crazy. I heard a lot of crazy last night. We will have to talk about. Hey, kiddo, what's up? What you writing down? What you writing down? What you got there? Come here. Yeah,
I just graded myself.
Oh,
I did good. 1 plus 1. That's supposed to be a 2. By the way.
There's a 2. That's a 2 right there.
Yeah.
That's a 2. 1 plus 1. Yeah. Remember, the plus is a plus. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember? That's an equal sign. You're doing great, though. Let me put it on here for you just to show you. Okay. You are doing so fabulous. That is awesome. That is an A plus. Yeah. But look, this is a plus. Okay. So this is a plus. This is the equals. You're doing good, though. 1 plus 1. And, you know, why don't you go work on the 1 plus 2? You know how much those are? And work on all those numbers.
I was trying to do 1 plus 8. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, why don't
I
you
thought it was something. What's 1 plus 8?
1 plus 8. Well, you know that. What's 8? And then 1 more.
So 8.
What's after 8? You know this? Come on.
9.
Yeah, that's right. Give me 5. That is awesome. All right.
I thought it was a different one.
No, you knew it, though. You don't ever you second guess yourself. You always just figure it up and count it up. Okay. So go work on it. Go figure it up. Okay. Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
Oh. There's some. Thank you. Hey, there's paper on the right up there on the kitchen counter or on the kitchen table. There's a whole notebook you can have. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you keep it. Okay. Love you. Be careful. Hey, be careful and be ready for your bowling. Okay. All right. Love you. Close the door. She's working on her. She's working on her numbers. she's working on writing her numbers. You know, she's slamming that in. She's doing pretty good with it, though. We've been working on complex, you know, the tens and hundreds plus. So we've been working on 10, you know, like 10 plus 12 and, you know, all of that good stuff. How to do it easily and quickly. So fun time. Anyway, she's a cutie. Let me wake my screen back up. But yeah, so last night we have things like this. We also, interestingly enough, we had some weird admissions. I mean, let me show you this. Let me show you some crazy stuff. Like Lynette, boy, on the call outs. Oh, there's been like last night was a gold mine of items that were discussed. A gold mine. One of the things, though, that is really of interest here, as this stuff defamed Megan Fox, was the admission that Megan Fox was not indeed the person that caught their landlord. Here, you can see this. Originally, my landlord, so they're blaming their landlord. That's right. They threw their landlord under the bus for fake police reports. They noted that they told the police that Megan Fox had called their home and that they had proof. You remember, they worked up this mob of people into a frenzy where they were saying, yes, she called. I have her number. She admitted who she was. Well, no. That was actually just the landlord's fault. Who is it actually? Well, they blamed the bench donor, which is interesting because they still try to blame Megan Fox and myself when they're actually talking about a person that has had their own issues. I mean, if that is indeed true, I don't believe anyone has called until I see ironclad proof of it, because they claim Megan Fox did it before. But she said, you know, originally my landlord came at me and said, no, well, not at me, but came to me and said somebody named Megan Fox Ryder, which is her YouTube channel, was the one who called and spoke to her husband. She got it wrong. So it's the landlord's fault. It's the landlord's fault that you whipped up a fucking mob of people, had them dox Megan Fox's address, dox her phone number. I mean, that again, I keep pointing out, defamation. This is the epitome of defamation. And it continues. It just morphs into another story where they can still tell you, oh yeah, but we still reported it. Did you tell the police about the problems with the bench donor? Did you actually tell them, since you're blaming them, how they've been to the police before? How you refuse again? You know, you're like, well, the bench is there. Oh, it's there. It exists. Oh, but I can't show it because these people told me not to. Well, that's not the agreement that you had with donors. You told them if they gave, then. Now you say, at first you congratulated them. You told them, oh, man. Then after they started asking for proof, you told them, nope, can't show it to you. Afterwards, you admitted that they sent it. Now you say, oh, well, they didn't actually send any money anyway. It's very strange, man. Very strange. But they say anyway, she got it wrong. But in the conversation, I told her I was meeting with detectives and she wanted to be there. So she came and met with us. And then she got all the information correct from her husband, wrote it all down and brought it with her because she got calls. Oh, so you just, again, you just got a bunch of people. You said that Megan Fox did all of these things. You whipped them all up into this little frenzy where they all wanted to attack her. They were fucking putting her name and address out there. Yeah. And again, you said you had proof. I think it was. No, you said I have proof. Kept that stream. Definitely. Because those kind of things seem to slip behind paywalls where you try to hide that stuff. You know, isn't that weird? These are the kind of things, by the way, they're like, if you talk about this, we'll sue you. Dude, you're admitting to wrongdoing here. This is the epitome of it. They think also, funny enough, they think that a journalist is a person who, well, they get to define them. Actually, no one gets to define what a journalist is. As a... If you want to work for a mainstream publication, they may have specific rules on how you do it. But there's this weird thing called citizen journalists. There are more and more of us every day. In fact, they call someone like a paint chips a journalist. Well, I mean, what is a credential? Do you have to go to prison for it? Do you need a Substack? What exactly do you have to have? Oh my God, man. This is amazing though. But they were talking about repoing Michelle's fence. I mean, just all kinds of craziness, you know. Let me see. I gotta find the Michelle. The Michelle thing is quite wild because of the call out potential. Give me a second, let me show this to you. 1 minute. I gotta pull it up from the, I'm gonna pull it up on the channel itself. That way we can watch something that's with it too. Otter Creek Pickles. Pickles. Give me a second. Yeah, Michelle posted something. I was like, I wonder who that's a call out to. I'll let you decide. You know, folks, I will let you decide. Okay. But it also had a video attached to it, which I will play for you too. So check this stuff out. It's pretty amazing. Here we are. There we are. All right. So here she's talking about, she posted this about 9 hours ago. Now check this out. Again, you tell me who's getting called out here. When people are telling you you should leave your child alone with people you don't really know, or people that you know are on the wrong side of that child, people that are hurting you, using that child for money, destroying your life. Now, again, that isn't about anybody that you or I know. You know what I mean? Because there is no way, shape, or form anybody is saying, hey, why don't you leave the kid with, you know, they're not like, hey, why don't you leave the kid with Jeremy Hales? Or, hey, why don't you leave the kid with Tug? You know, no, that's not what these people are saying. They're saying things like, why don't you leave the kid with 2L? Why don't you leave the kid with John? Huh? And yet we have this here. Now, again, over the last few days, we've had a few call outs in that. Hey, what's up, Flutter? By the way, I want to do something today too. While you folks are here, I want you to do me a solid here. Okay, this is going to be awesome. First, I want to do it too, but oh God, I want to see the fats get so mad about it because we have power. Okay, this is a free thing you can do. It will be lovely. So, Stacy Nat is 56 subscribers, 56 away from 1,000 there. Oh, I got me a letter. Thank you. I'll check that out in a minute. Okay.
It's like schoolwork for me.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you better.
Do this.
Thank you. Oh, that's cute. I'm gonna hang that up too. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right.
It's nice.
All right. Well, hey, you better and don't get your clothes dirty. Okay. And make sure your hair is combed out for your thing. Okay. All right. Close the door. Love you. Like I said, she's got bowling today. She's so excited. She's like, all right. You know, I'm very excited. Here, I'm gonna link something. I love this. When Stacy Nat was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do my own thing. They were like, oh my God, and they attacked Stacy Nat. Just like they always do to these folks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm posting a link here. We need 56 subscribers. Not a lot. 56 subscribers. That's it. So let me pin this link. Give me a second. The link. I want to pin it there. There we go. So I pin it to the top of the description. All you got to do is click it, sub it. 56 people. I mean, that is simple, easy peasy. You know, we can do this. We can do it real quick. And I think it will be it'll be a fun laughter. Look, like right now we're at 980 right now. We always need 20 more people already, just like that. See, the reason I say that, first of all, Stacy Nat has been, I'm going to say, very nice and considerate with everything. You know, I do not fault people for hearing, hey, there's a kid in need out here. I don't fault them for that. I don't fault them for getting something wrong. I don't fault them for being told when they're around people. I also don't, you know what? I don't fault people for wanting to belong. That's not a crime, wanting to belong. but sometimes bad people take advantage of that. So anyway, now Stacy's over 1,000. There you go. It's gonna drive them crazy. You know what really bothered me is they would always keep their people that are there grinding away. They keep them down. They would never do for them. Like you're there, you see all these co-hosts and stuff, like co-hosts that are they have channels. Like I watch them popping up on a channel that they do now. That channel gets 15 live people. 15. And I thought, man, they have it in their power to snap off a little bit of that Slim Jim, give them a little bite of it, give them a little taste of that apple. But if they do that, the problem is that they might actually get monetized. They might take money away from them. So they have a small pool. So, but anyway, I appreciate you, Stacy Nat. Like I said, I don't fault people for that. I encourage people. Again, I also, now the people that have been there that are gross and horrible after a while, and I'm like, well, if they've been there long enough. Although there are not a lot of original people that I see anymore. They were attacking Only Me last night. They're actually going after the guy again, and they gave $56,000. They even admit, oh, he may have gave 56, but that's not what I got because of fees. Also, any super chat he gave apparently belongs to them no matter what. Doesn't matter what it says, it belongs to them. It's their money. So that's fun to know. So if you send through PayPal, if it has a disclaimer on it, then okay. But if you give a super chat, it's actually theirs, no matter what you say it's for. Wow, fun to know. I hope, Michelle, I hope you've been listening to them. Because again, the one thing I took from all of that, like I said, they were talking about for Jeremy. They were saying if Jeremy won, they would come in and they're going to repo the fence. Well, again, the message in that, though, ignore the Jeremy part. What they're saying is you don't own the fence, Michelle. And they also were telling Michelle, hey, Michelle, you should sign the property over to 2L for $10 dues. Wait, what? They want you to sign. They'll totally give it back to you, though. Right, Michelle? They'll totally give it back. I'm going to pull that up today, too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're like, yeah. And somehow in their scrambled little brains, first of all, they want you to commit some kind of fraud on the court because that's fraudulent as hell, which would get you in more trouble. But even if that were 100%, would you trust them to give it back to you? I mean, you talked about them taking your money. Would you trust them to give you your home back? Ooh, baby. I mean, that's crazy to hear them be like, hey, yeah, you should sign your home over to them. Do it for $10. Like a quick claim. They want you to do a quick claim deed. That's what that is. Huh. That's weird. That's crazy, isn't it? I'm going to read that to you. So, but anyway, let's get this, Michelle. I was just like, what? Are they really encouraging this? So she says, again, when people are telling you you should leave your child alone, I mean, just drink this in. I'm reading it again so you can drink it in, okay? Alone with people you don't really know or people that you know are on the wrong side of that child. People that are hurting you, using that child for money, destroying your life like it says here. People that don't like you. You don't leave your children with anyone. You want to have a child. I don't know what that means. What? Oh, you want to have a child take care of your children yourself. I get it. Moms need a break. Trust me, I understand. But don't ever leave your children with someone who has shown you at all that they don't have yours or your child's best interest at heart. It's not worth it. Again, who's this calling out? Because that is, and I'll show you the little video that's attached to you too, because it most certainly is a call out. You know, it's a little video that's on Facebook. I'll show you. It's got captions with it. So I'll show you the captions that come up on it because of what it's saying. Because again, that is most definitely a call out. But who? You know, with Michelle too. Michelle, I wish you would just say like who you're calling out with some of this stuff. Let me see if the volume's on this. No. Okay. So check this out. I'm gonna jump it forward here and there so you can see it, okay? So it says, do not leave your kids with anyone who has shown you once, twice. Don't trust your kids with someone who doesn't like you, right? Yeah, come on. 3 times, 4 times, anytime that they don't respect you is what it says there. Okay, I know it's got words over it, so I'm reading it to you. Don't like you. They don't care about you because they will not keep your child safe. If anything, they might try to put your child in harm's way just to hurt you. Don't trust anyone around your kids alone that doesn't like you. So again, they might try to put your child in harm's way just to hurt you is what this thing says. Look, I'm going to pull it up here. All right, I'm going to pull it up here. There. Give me a second. Well, it didn't. Dang it. It jumped to the back. Give me 1 second. It's got to start over. I wanted to make sure that we could read it. So then I'm going to put it in front of you. Give me a second. Here we go. All right, check this out. So it's this video right here. Again, you can see it's hard to read right there. Okay. It says, do not leave your child alone with, or do not leave your child with anyone who has shown you once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, anytime they don't respect, they don't like you, they don't care about you because they will not keep your child safe. If anything, they might try to put your child in harm's way just to hurt you. Don't trust anyone around your kids alone that doesn't like you. Again, I don't disagree with that message. I very much agree with that message, you know, but again, she's noting that, you know, people are telling her to leave her kid with people. and she's like, no, you know how this goes. This isn't isolated, by the way. This isn't happening in a box. Like I said the other day, so we went over, if you missed them, I'm not going to go over the entire thing, but if you missed them, she talked 3 videos about things that have been going on. Now, she ghosted 2 of them. And again, Michelle, you should not ghost your videos. If you're going to go for, you keep talking about monetization. If you truly want to make money, and stop begging those people for making your dollary dues, you know, so you can, you're not going to get rich off of it for sure at first, but if you grind it, if you really grind it, you will make some money. And maybe when you put out stuff about those people, see, they want you to stay focused on Hales and stuff because they will talk about what you talk about. But if you talked about them and what's going on there, maybe you could break off a little bit of that support. I mean, they stole them all from you. Like the wildest crime I've ever watched is not just saying, hey, this barn dough money is actually mine, but on top of it, snapping off every supporter that actually gave money at one time to her and saying she can't be trusted with money. I worry about the kid. I mean, that's what they said, right? I worry about that kid. And he's supposed to be your friend. There's people that monetize that and so on. But she was talking in her first video. She had brought up John Cook. Well, she brought up permits first. She was talking about, again, that was the video where she asked for $4,500. And she said that everybody had been told about her needs. You know, bankruptcy attorney, trustees, all of that. By the way, interestingly, 2L was bragging about how she's been in contact with the trustees, lawyers. Huh, that's kind of interesting, huh? I'm sure they wanted to know about things like, what's this money thing going on? You know, they're like, yeah, more than 2 people have. It's like, more than 2 people. More than 2 people. Let's see. I wonder who that could be. Leslie, have you been contacting the bankruptcy? Holy God, if you have. Holy Lord. Have you seen that? Have you seen all the documents that she's put in recently? My God, man. It is wild. But she talked anyway. So she made a statement not only about the permits, which were brought up. They said this last night. Listen to this. This is crazy. All right. This is about the permit thing. I'm going to quote them exactly. Let me roll back to my clips on it. Give me a second here. She said that she told the bankruptcy lawyer that if Michelle and John were going to lose the property, that then she would get the permits. Wait, what? Do what now? So you won't do it before that, but you'll, if they're looking at losing the property, then you'll do it. Well, guess what? They're already losing the property. They are. Potentially they're losing all the property. And you can't just backdate it and be like, well, we started this construction thing out of nowhere. Again, it goes off of when you started it. So, but that was noted last night. I thought that was so ugly and disrespectful because it's saying that, yeah, money-wise, they do have the money for it. They absolutely do have the money for it. And they're saying, too, that they would get it, but X, Y, and Z has to happen. Isn't that crazy? I mean, when I heard that, I thought, by then it's too late. Why didn't you just do it before? You said that you couldn't pay for it out of that stuff somehow, even though it's money for the project, period. It just blew my mind there. I also like the talk about, all you people that donated want me to take the fence back. What? What? She's like, I bought that fence. I bought that fence. I mean, that was the I bought. No, other people. She said, I am a creditor. I bought that fence and I want that fence back if she's forced to sell the property. I can do that. No, you fucking cannot take the fence back. It is not yours. Again, that's verbatim what they said. I am a creditor. I bought that fence. And I want that fence back if she's been forced to sell the property. So I can do that. You absolutely cannot. It is part of their property. It was also not paid for by you. It was paid for by many people out there, including only me. I mean, again, you want to be nasty. And now, like I said, what they're telling you really underneath it all is, Michelle, you don't own anything. Anything they gave you, it comes with a lead weight. That amazed me to hear that. I bought the fence. Oh my God. I'm a creditor. I paid for it out of my account. All you people want me to take it back. That's so crazy, though. I also talked about gifting, the money. So they keep talking about $56K, They continually say the money it's given, that was given is being kept by yourself. And her response was, where's it supposed to be? It was gifted to me. He didn't give it to me to hold. Wait, what? No, they give it to you to complete projects. And then afterwards, again, it's their money. Oh, part of charity. You know why? Look, I want you to think about why this is a problem. Okay. You can't keep the money afterward. Like if you said, a fence, we put up a fence, the remnants of the money is mine. You know why you can't do that? Because that encourages you to put up 2 popsicle sticks and keep the rest of the money. You can see that's happened before. That's why the laws are like they are. Again, I think I actually have come to this point where I wonder if Preston was put in this situation with the bankruptcy, so she'd be like, well, if I get the money back, will I lose it? So it wouldn't be worth fighting for. Makes me wonder about that, you know? But they also talked about property. Listen to this crazy dumb shit. Give me a second here. I want you to hear this too. So I say, if they in fact lose the property and someone else wins it in a lawsuit, and it could be one of a couple of people could win and lose. And I tell you right now, and I'll say this live and publicly, John, Michelle, if I somehow win first, and there's a lien on that property. So first of all, she thinks that she's going to use the fence that she didn't pay for to be a creditor so she can try to get the property. And she's like, if I somehow win first, if there's a lien on that property, or the property gets handed over to Jeremy as a hand over money to me, and I promise you this, you get the property free and clear from me. It'll be yours. You got to sell it. So you got to sell it for $10. You got to sell it. Talking to Michelle, you got to sell that $10. No, $1. Thank you. No joke. Is what you guys can all go and get. So she's talking about, again, you sell the property for $1 to me. I'll totally give it back to you. What in the hell? What in the absolute hell am I looking at? I mean, for real, this is stuff they're encouraging Michelle to do, though. And beyond that, I'm like this. I get it, Michelle. You're in a bad place. I get it. Do you trust these people not to keep your shit? Even if you did that, first of all, you can't do it. But let's say in some hypothetical you could. Do you trust them to give you your shit back? What has their word been worth to you? Honestly, what has it been worth? What did you get out of it? You're like, yeah, I got a Christmas for my daughter. Yeah, other people paid for that. They paid a lot of money. Did you get the remnants of that money? You got that fence, man. That fence. Oh my God. If you show me that fence and we're like, yo, Tug, how old's that fence? I'd be like, 7 years, 8 years. I wouldn't be like a year old. You know what I mean? It does not look good. It's a mess. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that for real. Like, I know with the amount of money that was brought in, if they're going to claim that this large amount of money was for that fence, then why did they not set aside all of that money for the fence? You know what I mean? Oh, Lord. I mean, it is just absolutely bonkers. All of it is. But now they're telling Lynette, you just slice that off. Do it. It'll be okay. Meanwhile, again, you know, they work up people to the point. Here's a few of the Only Me kind. Only Me, not even in their chats or anything, man. But they've decided Only Me needs to get some. I was like, why are they going after Only Me? You know, it's too. Melissa pointed this out. You notice the price of the fence keeps going up. It's really strange, isn't it? Like, the price of the fence went a few months ago. It was what, 49, then it went 59, and now it's 69. Here's the post on that. Give me 1 minute. I'm bringing up the post too. All right, here we are. I thought this was a good post, so check this out. I was talking about the cost of fencing. Wondering, does the cost of a fence panel go up every year? In November 2024, the cost is $59. Now it's 69. I had to add that LP claims it was 58. So looking at this, you can see when people are talking about cost, you can see right here down the bottom, it says, 59 originally, 49, right? You can see 49. Here's the other day. This was 722. I think we were getting them at 49 originally, but it ended up being 69. So, it keeps going up. Like every retelling of this, it adds money. It just added $10 a panel. Everything gets a little more expensive, Oh Lord. It's wild to watch. And of course, they got to get their little zealot crew out there. They block all the, you know what? You want a real feeling for how people feel about stuff? Unblock all the donors. Turn off subscriber mode. And then ask people what exactly they want done with that money. Invite people like Only Me to come over and discuss it. See what he says about it. Because they were like, oh, Only Me. He said blah, blah, blah. He said the money was for the child, but that's not what he said before. I thought he was pretty consistent on it. I thought he was pretty damn consistent on it. Like I said, dude is not a fan of me, and vice versa. I ain't a fan of Only Me either. But I know he gave that money. Here's what they had to say about it. Here's the chat. They get worked up and whipped up. And they're talking about, going after him. And he doesn't deserve his money back. And, there's no contractual. Again, this goes with anybody who gives money. So you just think about this. Like imagine me saying this. Imagine if this were me. Imagine this reversed. This is the best way to do it. Imagine there was a reversal. I had gone out. Lynette Preston, I had raised $56,000 from one donor, one guy, for a barn conversion for Lynette Preston. And I told you, hey, this is going to be done in January 2024. This is when, by the way, there were permits, which they still blame her for the permits. And they talk shit to her. They say one person living on that property. They like to talk a lot of smack about you, Lynette. It's wild. But imagine if I had raised that money. And then it was now going on. It's almost August 2026. So I raised the money. I said I'd be done at the end of January 2025. I'm not talking about a delay, by the way. If you had a delay, okay. But they didn't start work. They didn't do any of that. They didn't maintain the permits, which could have easily been done. Even if they had to change up things, they could have still gone in. All of this could have been stopped simply by doing work. But imagine if it were me. How do you think this would be covered? Do you think they would be out there saying that's Tug's money? Do you think that they would be saying, hey, those were gifts to that umbrella guy, therefore he should keep it all? Do you think they would be saying, hey, you know what? Tug, you should take that money and buy you a brand new vehicle. Or maybe you should invest it in a lawyer so you can sue. Including, remember, they threatened to sue Lynette Preston at one time. They threatened her if she didn't shut her mouth. So do you think that would be the way it goes? Do you think they would be saying these same things if it were me that had done this? Or do you think there would be calls for transparency? Do you think there would be videos? Do you think they would cover it? Imagine if it were Jeremy Hales that had $56,000 of this woman's money. Can you imagine the amount of police reports they would have made about it already? Alone. Can you imagine all the videos, all the crazy, all of them? They would definitely have a problem with it. But in that, oh my God, too. So this is really funny. Volmit wrote me today. Hey, Volmit, I know you're listening. Volmit wrote me today crying about the fact that I said that he doesn't understand VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act. Now, I'm going to read you something. He says, This is his out. I'm going to read it to you in context, and you tell me. You tell me, okay? So he was doing an interview. This was in September 2025 with Lynette Preston. I don't know if you remember that one, but I very much do remember it, okay? Give me 1 second. I got to roll back and find it. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to break it in half because I want to quote it all. He said, quote, in the Violence Against Women Act, is Jeremy a woman? Lynette's like, no. Do you have any idea how he could qualify under the Violence Against Women Act? No. Well, it just so happens I did a big expose of the Violence Against Women Act. It's constantly misused. I never seen it misused by a man, though. Now, he's pointing to the next part here. He's like, well, after that, I said, and I quote, well, it is technically used by men, but I'm not sure how sending an email to a mayor's office qualifies someone for protection under VAWA. So he's like, well, I put the technically there and added that. And I was like, well, you just asked these people, and they ran with it for months, that he does not qualify for a protective order because he's not a woman. And he got butthurt today and was right. And he was like, you want to retract that? I was like, hell to the no, I ain't retracting that. Oh, it's funny. But he's like, oh, I added that, therefore. Oh, my God. I love that. I think that's funny. So do you, with that again, he's like, see, I did understand it, Doug. Oh, my Lord. He also told me that we had a disagreement on something. Here, I'll paint a scenario for you, and I want you to tell me if this is old news and doesn't matter anymore. Say there's a person out there that wears, they cover cases, right? Give me just a second. I got it right here. Yes, ma'am. Huh? Okay. In where? In the toy room? Yeah. Okay, I'll take care of it when I get done, okay? Or ask Sissy if she wants to take care of it, okay?
No, you taking care of it.
Okay. Is it caught good?
Yeah.
Is it on there good? Okay.
We got all.
Okay, good deal. All right. Good deal. Thank you for telling me. All right, love you. Close the door. We put some glue traps out. We were moving a bunch of stuff. Every time they cut out here and stuff, we get mice that'll come up. So we put out glue traps. And she's like, "Oh, Dad, we caught a mouse." I'm like, "All right, is it caught good? Is it caught on the glue trap good? I don't want to get in the way." Like, yeah, I'll take care of it a little bit. I hate having to use those, but they're about the only thing that work well. But anyway, scenario on paper. Okay. So imagine a person covers cases, right? And in that, they write articles. Not only they write articles, but they write articles for profit a lot of times. But in this case, now in that they're writing articles about a specific woman. And in that, they are writing articles about how this woman is a victim, that, in the current divorce matter or whatever she's going through, it's terrible. This other person's a monster. They're out there doing these puff pieces. But what they don't disclose is that woman is living with them and that they are having their with them, right? Then along the way, said woman gets pregnant. After a woman gets pregnant, she has something to say negative about the person who writes the articles, saying that they are an abuser. Suddenly, the person writing puff pieces changes this person is a victim and starts writing pieces about how they're crazy, about how they're a terrible human being and more. Now, do you think that's old news? Do you think that time's out? Especially since, they don't disclose this, that they're the puff piece writing. And they've done this before with these vulnerable women that are in vulnerable positions, that are going through terrible things. They date shop them. They have relations with them. They write puff pieces about them and don't disclose it. Well, admittedly, too, for sure. Now, were there more? I don't know. Is that old news? Is that old? You don't have any news. Is that old news? Does that ever get old? Or does that speak to the character of a person? Because I was told that that's old news. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think that's old news. I think that's predatory as fuck. But what do I know, right? What do I know? I'm going to watch something today. I want some video stuff. We've been going through. Oh, by the way, tonight, Hales is going to have on special guests. That's right. Who? Not me. Not me, by the way. You know, he's been having on different ones. I'm not saying that in a bad way. Not me. You know, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to tease it and it be, you think, oh, that means Tug. No, it doesn't mean me. Okay. So I'm not teasing it for me. Somebody else. Somebody fun. I don't know if he said who yet, but if he hasn't, I'll tease it. I'll be like, special guests. I always like the special guests. I've enjoyed watching different people coming on and having fun. Did you see, by the way, it's not Jay. Did you see Jay, his over 5,000? That was actually pretty damn good. I have to say it was pretty freaking good. Give me a minute. I'm going through. Actually, you know what we have not looked at still? We still haven't looked at all of the wonderful stuff that has been covered in Lips. Let me pull that up real quick before we do anything else. Give me a second. I want to show you how many new things have actually been filed. Remember, there is a hearing that is coming up. It is coming up next week. And in that, I want to show you all of the new filing stuff because there's a lot on the docket. You know, it's quite a bit. Just give me a minute. I'm pulling up the site and everything. It takes a minute to pull up the docket itself. There's a lot on the docket. I mean, it is kind of wild. If you ever are wondering and you want to look up that docket yourself, by the way, you just need to look up the Orange County clerk. The Orange County, when you get to the site, just look up. It has a little bar across the top. I'll show you what it looks like. That way you can look these up by yourself if you're ever interested. You can go to the main site. Here's what the site looks like. You know, they have services. You can see, well, if you go to search, go to case records, and then you just type in, I just do Leslie Federico's, and it pulls up all of her stuff that, you know, you can find all the cases. So I'm shielding it for a second because I don't want to pull up all these other random cases and it have something on there that I don't want seen. But they have all kind of freaking things that are going on. But the fifth case that is listed there is the current case that is ongoing. Now, check this out. In the last little bit, I want to show you all the crap that is starting to hit. There was one thing that we did not read. I think it's the response here. Let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, we actually didn't read the response, which is an 18-page response to Leslie as far as a vexatious litigant. Would you like to see the response to her? Give me a minute. She had an 18. Actually, it may not be 18, maybe less than that. Let me see. She put in a response, motions. Good God, check this mess out. This makes it so hard to look through the docket because it's just a mess. Look at this docket. I want to show it all to you real fast. All right, here it is. So check this docket out. This is these have been all the motions going on, everything happening. Look at all the. Look over these few days. It's like bam, 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 bam. Motions, comments to judge, memorandums. Lordy. By the way, Leslie, did you not file your 230-page monstrosity of an exhibit? Did you not file that monster? I don't see it on here. Give me a minute. I'm going to... So her response is, Lord, she puts on, like when you're looking at it too. So she had on there, for example, she had response. That's hers. Case laws after that. That was her. Motion. For the motion itself, that's her. Okay. Let's see. Memorandum. Let's see. Plaintiff's reply. I want to show you the plaintiff's reply. Because we didn't, I think it's 18 pages of good reading. And then it's a 38-page document. But I think the exhibits on top of it, I think it's like 20 pages of stuff. But give me a minute. I'm going to pull it because I don't think we covered that. It's a wonderful memorandum. And then right after the memorandum, you have Leslie copy the style of it and file after it. It's so nuts. Check this out. I want to show you something really funny here. All right. So look at this. I mean, this is so weird, right? Anytime Randy files something, watch this. You see these two memorandums here, right? See this one and this one. Okay. Now, I want to show them to you. Just to show you the style and more. Just to kind of give you an example of what I mean with it. Give me 1 minute. So I got to pull them up side by side so you can see both memorandums, though. I mean, it's so weird and nuts. Like all of this is just, it's all strange. It's all strange. Okay, so when we put this together, right, here is, give me 1 minute. I'm blowing this up so you can see it better. The first one I'm going to show you is going to be Randy's. All right. So this is ours where we're suing. Let's see. I think that's, wait, I can't tell which one's which. I hate it when I can't tell which one's which. I think it's this one. Yeah. All right. So you see plaintiff's reply. You see how it's set up, table of context, everything, right? Now you've seen all of the filings before with Leslie's motions, right? Okay. So you see how that comes in. Then she files her memorandum. Now it's messy, but look. It's copying. It copies his format. I was like, oh my God, is this real? Holy Lord. It copies the same format. It takes the format and tries to use it. Holy moly, man. It's all crazy, dude. But anyway, let's look at let's look at that document. We never got a chance to look at it. I want to. We have plenty of time to actually look at it. So let's look at this. So the court should apply. This is going through the argument that Leslie's going to run into. I think this is important because we're going to see this on, we're going to see this on the 30th, which, well, we're talking about 4 days. So that'll be interesting, right? So the court should apply the amended version of Section 68.093 of the Florida statutes, which kicked in July 1st, 2025. Now, what this is talking about is saying what is a vexatious litigant, which expressly includes family law actions within the statutory definition of action and extends the look-back period to 7 years. Okay. The amended statute applies to pending proceedings and operates remedially to protect the courts and litigants from vexatious conduct. Now, defendants argument that only 3 civil cases may be counted fails because the amended statute now expressly encompasses actions, quote, governed by the Florida family law rules of procedure. So her argument is you can't count where I've gone after Michael in this 3 times now. You cannot count those. And it's like, yeah, that actually falls within that. Moreover, defendants voluntarily defendants voluntarily dismissed cases count as quote unquote finally and adversely determined against her because the statute of limitation is expired on those claims, rendering them unrefilable and therefore adjudicated against her as a matter of law. Whoops. So she's like, oh, they don't count. Well, don't they? Now, for these reasons and those set forth below, court should grant plaintiff's motion and declare Leslie Federico's a vexatious litigant. Now, the material facts are largely undisputed and have been thoroughly documented in plaintiff's amended motion. And somebody asked, why are you saying motion? Well, that's somebody else says it that way. Isn't it fun? And the court docket attached there too. Now, between March 15th, 2019 and May 19th, 2025, defendant Leslie Federigos commenced, prosecuted, or maintained at least 8 actions in Florida court proceeding pro se with counsel who later withdrew. Now, these include 4 family law injunction petitions, which are stalking or DV injunctions filed 2021, 2024, 2025, all of which were dismissed or voluntarily dismissed after ex parte temporary orders. 3 civil defamation action claims in 2021, 2023, and 2025, 2 of which defendant voluntarily dismissed without prejudice, and 1 which the court dismissed without prejudice for failure to serve within 120 days. 1 guardianship matter in which defendant served an attorney as attorney of record for an interested party, resulting in sanctions and adverse appeal mandate in 2024. Also, a federal case here where Federigos goes after the Florida bar et al. That's right. She went after the bar itself. Yeah. Yes. The Florida bar dismissed by the courts in August 21st, 2023. These cases show defendant voluntarily dismissed multiple actions, quote unquote, without prejudice after engaging in discovery, filing motions, or consuming judicial resources. Those dismissals occurred years ago. The statute of limitations has since expired on the underlying claims, rendering them unfileable. Now, the legal standard. Under Section 68.093, the Florida statute, which again, it changed on July 1st, 2025. We filed after that fact. A court may declare a person a vexatious litigant if that person proceeding pro se has in the immediately preceding period commenced, prosecuted, or maintained 5 or more actions in the court that have been finally and adversely deemed against such person. Once designated, a vexatious litigant may be required to post security and obtain. Here's what a vexatious litigant gets hit with, by the way. They're forced to post security. That means if they're going to go in and they're going to file and go after somebody, they've got to, that whole statement of put your money where your mouth is. That's what she's got to do. Instead of proceeding into a courtroom and just being able to file, which again, she has stated before that she does. She just goes in, she files something, and then she'll withdraw it because she doesn't want to mess with the court. We have her saying this. Yeah. So now she'd have to post security and obtain a leave of the court. So the court would have to say, yeah, you can do that. You can actually do that before filing a new pro se action. The statute serves the public interest by preventing abuse of the judicial process while preserving access to the court for meritorious claims. See, she still would have access to the court. So you're not denying any rights that she has. She would just have to, again, post security for it, and she would have to get the court. The court would have to look at it and be like, yeah, this is potentially... This is a potentially meritorious claim. Well, it is a meritorious claim as far as they see it going forward. But she would have to go forward with it. She would have to post security. I think that's fair, man. You shouldn't have a person that is just randomly filing bullshit on their own. We're not talking about on their own that is going in. They file garbage filings They threaten people. It's like how she proceeded with myself, for example, or Megan Fox. You know, she went in, she filed against us because she didn't like what we had to say. She was suing, not really Hales. Hales was part of the discussion, but the real thing was trying to silence JJ Bean. That was the problem. Now, she decided as he went along, oh, wait, I better drop this. But when she drops it, she decides that she's going to put a threat with that. If you talk about her or do anything that she doesn't like for the next X amount of time, I think she said 2 years, then she could file it, refile, and the judge would be pissed off at you. And myself, Megan Fox, they're like, well, you better file that again then, because fuck you, you ain't going to threaten me. What'd you do? She filed it again. And of course, like always, before it goes in, because it's expensive, she dropped it yet again. So you can see how she does that stuff before it actually goes anywhere, before it actually hits her in the wallet or the purse, as it were, the bank account. She tries to get out from under it. So looking at the, again, the amended version of section 68.093 that was effective July 1st, 2025. Okay, so the defendant contends that this court must apply the pre-July 1st, 2025 version of the statute because her actions predate the amendment. That's what she's saying. She's saying, well, I did all of this before the change. Therefore, you can't. So how would you ever prosecute anyone for this? You realize like what they would have to do to have actually done this from July 2025. We're talking about less than a year that this statute has been in place. So she's like, oh, you couldn't do anything with anybody right now. I mean, really, it would be very difficult to actually bring any kind of action against a vexatious litigant because, again, that's only been on the books for a year. So it says, this argument fails under well-settled Florida law governing statutory construction and retroactivity. Florida law presumes that the statute operates prospectively unless the legislature clearly expresses an intent for retroactive application. However, remedial statutes do not fall within the constitutional prohibition against retroactive legislation and may be applied to pending cases. A statute is remedial when it provides a remedy or mitigates harsh consequences without impairing vested rights, creating new obligations, or imposing new penalties. The amended vexatious litigant statute is remedial. It does not create a new cause of action or impose criminal penalties. Rather, it provides courts with enhanced tools to manage repetitive and abusive litigation. That's exactly what it's supposed to handle. Now, with the expansion of it, what she's arguing against, it expanded the look-back period, which it notes. The amendment expands the definition of action to include family law matters. She does not want that because it includes the family law matters and extends the look-back period from 5 to 7 years, thereby giving courts a more complete picture of the litigant's pattern of conduct. These changes serve the remedial purpose of protecting the courts and parties from harassment and waste of resources. By expanding the timeline from 5 to 7 years, the legislature explicitly intended the court to look backward into the past. If a judge could only look at cases filed after July 1st, 2025, the 7-year look-back mechanism would be mathematically useless for years to come. Nonsense. That's what it says. Nonsense. I mean, that is a call out there. The text itself commands a retroactive historical review. And that's true. I mean, that is absolutely insane. If you were saying that they put this in, but they did not intend for you to be able to look back, would that make sense at all? I think that's pretty nonsensical. I mean, don't you? You know, wouldn't you agree? Like that seems absolutely insane when you think about it. I think so anyway. I can't believe that they try to sell this idea, you know, this notion that it comes back in this. That's what they do, though. They always are trying something crazy with that. Also, I don't, like I said, I'm not going to go through this whole thing because I want to watch a video with you, but I want to cover some of this because, again, I want you to understand what is being mentioned in this. The Florida Supreme Court has repeatedly held that remedial statuses can and should be applied retroactively to serve their intended purposes. In this case here, the court applied the newly enacted statutory exemptions retroactively because the statute was remedial in nature, enacted to mitigate I cannot speak. Okay, starting the sentence over. Here we go. This case, the court applied a newly enacted statutory exemption retroactively because the statute was remedial in nature, enacted to mitigate harsh provisions and resolve ongoing problems. I swear, sometimes you just got to start the sentence over. The court explained that when the legislature perceives a public necessity and enacts remedial legislature to correct identified problems, retroactive application is appropriate. So they're talking about here, he's talking about whether or not they should have this look back. So in here, the legislature, they amended section 68.093, that would be the vexatious litigant statute, to remedy the problem of vexatious litigants exploiting narrow definitions and short look-back periods to evade designation. The amendment became effective July 1st, 2025, while this motion was filed August 2025 and remains pending. Under Florida's well-established retroactivity principles, the amended statute applies to this proceeding because it operates remedially, does not impair vested rights, and it serves the public interest in efficient judicial administration. So in this, again, the argument is that it is well established. Why would you add a look-back period if you didn't intend a look-back period? I mean, you understand that? I hope everybody gets that. I think I'm explaining it well enough. And one of the things I'm trying to do with the documents now is I'm trying to explain what it's stating if it starts getting into the weeds. And when I do this, I make sure that I talk to a few lawyers on it to make sure that I'm not missing anything. But this is pretty easy to understand in that. Her argument is you can't look back in that. You can't include my stuff that I've done, family cases. You can't do any of this stuff. And if you want to see it on a docket, it's wild. I mean, you can go in that site that I showed you for the Orange County. Just look it up. Just go look up her name. You'll see all these cases, and it's wild. And remember, I mean, she went after not just her family, as in Hale, but she also went after Mama. That's right. She also went after people who worked for her. She's gone after people online with all of us. She's gone after the bar itself. I mean, come on, at some point, and she was, she retired in lieu of discipline. She's no longer a lawyer because of all of her crazy that she was doing. And she brags about doing this stuff. But then when it's pointed out, she's like, no. So Florida courts have long held that litigants do not possess a vested right to a specific down-the-line procedural outcome, nor do they have a right to maintain meritless or repetitive lawsuits. The Florida Vexatious Litigant Registry is an official, publicly accessible list maintained by the Florida Supreme Court. It compiles the names of individuals who have been formally designated as vexatious litigants by a judge under said section of the Florida statutes. The list is public information. It can be viewed directly on the Florida Supreme Court website under the public records of courts office sections. Because the Vexatious Litigant Registry does not strip a person of their underlying legal rights, but rather changes the procedure. Defendant's argument that retroactive application would violate her due process rights by depriving her of a vested right to litigate under the prior statute. This argument misunderstands the nature of vested rights under Florida law. This is because a vested right must be more than a mere expectation based on the continuance of existing law. It must be immediate, fixed right of present or future enjoyment. The right to file lawsuits under a particular procedural framework is not a vested right. Florida courts adhere to well-settled rule that litigants have no vested rights in any particular procedural framework, remedy, or mode of procedure. So again, for her arguing about this stripping her of a vested right, it's saying you don't understand what a vested right actually is. Litigants generally have no vested rights in procedural regulations. Additionally, statutes that regulate only procedural or remedy generally apply to all pending cases. Now, a statute is classified as procedural when it concerns the quote-unquote means and methods used to apply and enforce rights and duties rather than defining the substantive rights or duties themselves. Now, again, all of this is going to be important in 4 days. This is what it all boils down to. This fight about, again, this is step one in the fight. We'll see how it turns out. Now, again, I've been skipping some of the statements from cases. All right. And again, you can pull these. They are free to go and get. And you should read this entire case. Look at it. See what you think. Now, because no one has a vested interest in any given mode or procedure, the legislation may freely alter, amend, or repeal procedural rules and regulations. Such procedural remedial enactments do not violate constitutional prohibitions against retroactive legislation and are immediately applicable to pending cases as they change only the machinery of judicial or administration enforcement without impairing substantive vested rights. Again, so since it only impacts the mechanism itself of enforcement, it's not actually taking away your vested rights. And this is well established, is what it's noting. This means that defendants have no vested right to avoid vexatious litigant designations under the prior version of 68-103. Imagine this argument too. You can't try me under that. I mean, her argument isn't these things are. Her argument is that doesn't apply to me. I mean, holy crap. It's wild stuff, man. It is wild business. So I'm going to skip over. Again, you can see where this is pointed out in case-wise. Defendants' expectations that family law cases would remain outside of statutory definition or that the look-back period would remain at 5 years does not constitute a vested right. Moreover, the Florida Supreme Court has consistently held that when a statute serves a remedial purpose, it should be applied to pending cases without offending due process. The amended vexatious litigant statute, 1, does not impose criminal liability. 2, does not deprive defendant of property. 3, does not bar her from access from the courts. It merely requires judicial oversight and potentially the posting of security before she may file future pro se actions. Yes, I mean, this modest procedural requirement does not rise to the level of constitutional deprivation. That's what she's trying to say. She has a constitutional right to do X, Y, and Z. Therefore, it's crazy, like I said. And when she's taken to task on it, her immediate response is, "I'm being attacked. I'm being bullied." Dude, no. When you file garbage lawsuits meant to harass other people, that is the definition of bullying. That is the definition of vexatious. Again, why do you think it exists? Oh my God. Go with some J there. No, but it's wild because it really is. It's meant to cause stress, worry. She tries to spin it and say, "Oh well, that way it lets me put it on the record without actually fighting it." So you mean to harm people's reputations. What she was saying is when people look this up, they can see, like myself, I've been sued for whatever. Now, she never meant for that to go to court. I was allowed any type of due process. She denied me of my due process because she just put together some garbage thing and dropped it. And anybody that looks at it I mean, again, she's admitted that's meant for reputational harm. It's crazy, huh? So the legislature's clear intent supports the application of the amended statute. Now, when the amended statute does not contain express language directing retroactive application, the legislature's intent is evident. So again, if it doesn't say we only go from this date forward, then their meaning is clear. It says Florida courts construe statutes according to their plain language. And when statutory language is clear and unambiguous, there is no occasion for resorting to rules of statutory construction. The amended statute's 7-year look-back period, by its very terms, reaches conduct predating January 1st, 2025. That means the dumbest thing ever to say, I can't look back beyond this date right here. Because again, nobody would ever be able to take her to task for a hot minute. And she'd get to pretend all that stuff never happened. So she'd get to do it all again and restack the deck with cases. I mean, you think about that. So, I mean, again, that's this whole argument right here. So again, you understand that? The pipeline rule for pending cases. Under Florida's pipeline rule, procedural and remedial statutory updates apply immediately to all pending litigation. The pipeline rule dictates that pending cases include those that are currently active in a trial court or pending on appeal. This means that if a motion to declare someone a vexatious litigant is filed today, the judge must use the operational rule currently in effect, which includes the broader definition and extended timelines introduced by the update. For these reasons, the court should apply the version of 68.103 in that. Yes, so again, it's saying the pipeline rule. If something has been filed, like if we filed in August, we obviously are going to look at the law that that just took place. She can't just say, well, this doesn't apply. I should be tried under the... No, we filed after that kicked in. So family law cases are included. Now, this is in the very definition of it if you look it up. Defendant contends that the 4 family law injunction cases she filed should not be counted because the prior version, it excluded actions governed by Florida family law rules of procedure. The argument fails because the amended statute expressly includes family law actions within the statutory definition. The amended statute defines actions to mean actions governed by Florida family law rules of procedure. You can see right there, family law, family rules of civil, family probate rules, family small claims. So again, or Florida small, I said family, I meant Florida, you know what I meant. I'm having a word day. Excuse all of that if you would, please. This language is unambiguous. Family law actions are now within the scope of vexatious litigant statute. The prior version excluded family law matters, providing that action means a civil action governed by Florida rules of civil procedure and proceedings governed by the Florida probate rules, but does not include actions concerning family law matters governed by Florida family law rule of procedures. The legislation removed the exclusion effective. Now, again, before they didn't allow it, and that allowed people to pile that shit on, you know? They get away with that. I got a Raider again, I believe. Come on. Yes. Yeah. What you doing? What you need? Huh? Yeah. Well, you better Yeah, come here, me hug the kids real quick. Well, be careful though when you're running, and don't run in your Crocs. You end up eating some dirt in those Crocs. Did you hurt your face?
Yeah, second was
Oh yeah. What'd you do to it? Just smoosh it or something? Oh, you cut it a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. Just rinse it off. Go rinse it off here, okay? Give me a kiss. Go rinse it, okay? Go rinse it. It's just a little bitty scrape. Go rinse it off anyway, okay? All right. Be careful in them shoes. Don't fall down those steps, all right? Maybe you should take those off if you're going to be running around the house. Hey, shut my door. Thank you. She got a tiny little, it didn't even look like a paper cut. It's just tiny. So I was like, well, rinse it off anyway. You know, you'll be okay though. It's funny because when I was looking at her finger, and I've crushed like 3 of mine. One of them's got a big gash across the side of my fingernail, and the other one looks terrible. And it's just funny holding it. It's like, oh, that little bitty cut beside these, anyway, so again, she thought family law that doesn't apply. She argues that even if the amended statute applies, the court should limit the consideration to the 5-year period specified in the prior. So she's like, oh, no. 5 years. 5 years. That's all you should be able to use too. So the new statute doesn't apply. She doesn't want family court in there. She doesn't want us to be able to look back as far as we would be able to look back in the new stuff. But again, this argument contradicts the plain language of the intended statute. The amended statute provides that the vexatious litigant is a person who, quote, in the immediately preceding 7-year period has commenced, prosecuted, or maintained pro se 5 or more actions in the court that have been finally and adversely determined against such person. The statute uses a 7-year period is clear and mandatory. With the statute, statutory language is unambiguous. Courts must give the plain and obvious meaning. The 7-year look-back period means that the court examines actions commenced, prosecuted, or maintained during the 7-year immediately preceding the motions, filing, or hearing. Here, we file August 25, and we have a hearing set for July 30, 2026. So the relevant 7-year period thus extends back to July or August, depending on the operative date. Defendant's guardianship case was filed March 2019, well within there. All other cited cases fall comfortably within that. Accordingly, the court may consider all 9 actions identified in plaintiff's amended motion. Again, she doesn't want all of that, and it's comfortably within it. She says defendants voluntarily dismiss cases count as finally and adversely determined because the statute of limitation is expired, rendering them unfileable. So she's trying to say, you can't do it. But again, if the statute of limitations has expired, then how could she refile? She can't do it. So they're saying, well, this argument here, it fails for 2 reasons. First, because the statute of limitation is expired on the defendant's dismissed claims, making them unrefileable and therefore adjudicated against her as matters of law. And second, because Florida law treats voluntarily dismissals as adverse outcomes for vexatious litigant purposes when the litigant consumes judicial resources and then abandons the action. So for her to say they don't count, oh yeah. So it looks at, as far as vexatious litigant purposes, it looks at you consuming resources and then dumping it. And I mean, she brags about doing this stuff. That's the craziest thing. She told other people to do it. A voluntary dismissal becomes a final adverse determination when the statute of limitation bars refiling. So again, I'm going to skip this part, but you understand what it's saying. We may go more in depth, but I want to watch something today. But you understand, if you can't refile, then that's what it's telling you, okay? And Florida courts treat voluntary dismissals as adverse outcomes for vexatious litigant purposes. So even if the statute of limitations is not expired, defendant's pattern of filing, litigating, and then voluntary dismissing actions constitutes the type of conduct the vexatious litigant statute is designed to address. Defendant's litigation pattern mirrors this type of conduct. She files multiple defamation actions arising from overlapping factual circumstances, engaged in discovery and motion practice, consume judicial and party resources, and then voluntarily dismiss the action without obtaining any relief. This pattern demonstrates exactly the kind of vexatious conduct the statute targets. Florida courts have also recognized the voluntary dismissals, when part of a pattern of repetitive litigation, constitute evidence of vexatious conduct. This statutory definition, or the statute's definition of vexatious litigant, again, it includes a person who repeatedly files unmeritorious pleadings, requests for reliefs, other documents, conduct conduct unnecessary discovery or engage in other tactics that are frivolous or solely intended to cause unnecessary delay in any action. Now, again, that new statute, that's what's quoted there. Now, the defendant's pattern of filing, litigating for months, and then dismissing falls squarely within a definition. Defendant argues that she dismisses her case in good faith due to external pressure and threats. Even accepting this assertion argument, it does not change the legal effect of the dismissals. The statute does not excuse vexatious conduct based on the litigant's subjective motivations. Yes, just because you say, oh, these people, they said mean things, I don't want them to say it anymore, that doesn't stop it. It doesn't look at your subjective motivation in doing it. It looks at what you did. It focuses on the objective pattern of filing and the impact of the court and opposing parties. Moreover, the statute allows the court to exclude actions, quote, commenced, prosecuted, or maintained in good faith. But the good faith exception applies to the decision to file, not to the decision to dismiss. Making it worse, her video where she talks about it, stating, I've done things before where I have I had people say things about me, and what I've done is I filed a lawsuit, and then I withdrew it. I filed it to get it on the record, just as soon as it becomes public record. At that point, so if I'm being defamed or something, I can just file it just enough. If you look my name up, you can see, whatever. And then I withdrew it because I don't want to go through the court system. That's her quote. We have her saying that. That is the definition of vexatious litigation. I mean, that is insane. Now, again, it goes through, for her. She's commenced, prosecutor, maintained more than 5 actions that have been finally and adversely determined. So they go through the cases, Here, case. Stalking injunction. Dismissed after hearing May 24, 2021. Stalking injunction. Dismissed after hearing. Final adverse determination. Here's another. Defamation action. Voluntarily dismissed. Statute of limitation expired. Final adverse determination. Another. Defamation action. Dismissed by court for failure to prosecute. Final adverse determination. And yet another one. DV injunction. Dismissed after a hearing. Final adverse determination. Another. DV injunction. Again, it was dismissed after hearing. Final adverse determination. Here's another. Defamation action, voluntarily dismissed, July 17th, 2025. Here's another, guardianship appeal. It was filed as an appellant in trial. Final adverse determination against that as well. And here's her against the Florida bar in it. The nature of the suit, Civil Rights, Americans with Disabilities Act, the federal question with jury for demand by plaintiff. Fun times, right? So the Florida versus Federico's versus the Florida bar case demonstrates that she's a vexatious litigant. Check this out. Florida vexatious litigant law applies to a person proceeding pro se in an action, including an action in federal court governed by rules of procedure compared to the Florida rules of civil procedure. The statute defines a vexatious litigant. Again, we've gone through what that is, right? It includes a pro se person who repeatedly files unmeritorious pleadings, requests for relief, other documents, conducts unnecessary discovery, etc., etc. So in that, her versus the Florida bar fits squarely in that definition. The docket is a closed federal civil action filed in the Middle District of Florida, February 2nd, 2023, terminated August 21st, 2023, with her listed as a plaintiff and with Leslie Ann Federico's Esquire listed as her own counsel of record. She did not file one ordinary complaint or await adjudication. Within days, she filed an amended complaint, a motion to amend, then a second amended complaint. She then filed a motion to supplement the complaint, which the court denied without prejudice. That pattern continued after dispositive motions were filed, including responses, notices, requests for judicial notice, motion for leave to reply, motion to amend response, repeated motion to disqualify the magistrate judge, and a motion for reconsideration. Remember, by the way, they said that if you talk about a judge, that's attacking a judge. You remember them going over that over and over and over again. You can't talk about a judge. It's terrible, right? Leslie has plenty of videos talking about judges, about how corrupt the system is and all of that stuff. Oh, it's just amazing. So the federal court ultimately recommended dismissal of the operative pleading for lack of subject matter jurisdiction on mootness grounds, denial of all other pending matters as moot, and closure of the file. The district judge adopted that recommendation, granted the defendant's motion to dismiss in part, dismissed the second amended complaint, denied all pending motions as moot, overruled an objection relating to struck filing, and directed the clerk to close the case. Even after it was closed, she continued to seek relief from the dismissal by filing a motion to vacate and amend, followed by an amended motion to vacate and amend. The court denied the first such motion as moot, later denied the amended motion to vacate the dismissal. This docket demonstrates repeated filings of requests for relief and other paper after the court had already ruled on the operative complaint, closed the case, and denied pending matter as moot. That is precisely the type of conduct the Florida statute identifies when it reaches litigants who repeatedly file pleadings or requests for relief or other documents that have already been subject to courts filing or rulings in the same action. It also demonstrates repeated unmeritorious filings. The docket reflects multiple requests: denied as moot, denied without prejudice, denied for failure to comply with procedural requirements, denied outright, or denied on rehearing. Those rulings support the conclusion that Federico's versus the Florida Bar is not merely evidence of vigorous advocacy, but evidence of repeated, unsuccessful, and burdensome litigation conduct of the kind that Florida's vexatious litigant law is designed to address. Isn't that lovely? So again, there are multiple pages talking about this. I want to watch a video. So it's a good filing. These are good. And again, they will be something that matter. I mean, it definitely matters at the end of it all. Okay, so I want to watch a video that's talking about the depot. Why? Because we have been talking about the depot. Now, these videos have become very, very interesting. Why? Because we have been able to compare and contrast anything that was stated in these with what the videos, and there are multiple videos, what they have actually stated. You should go back and watch all of these. They are wild. There is a series of them, and I mean, they are indeed wild. I want to go through, like I said, this one here. I think it is, it's the one where we're talking about her bouncing. But remember, as far as everything that has gone on so far, what we've read ourselves, so we can 100% attest to, you've heard it as we've read it. 1 second here. What is that? I was seeing somebody sent me something. I was looking at it to make sure it wasn't something. It was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, we saw her, the name thing. That was wild, right? We couldn't even get a name. We couldn't get a history. It was all over the place. And then we got down to the warranty deed, the property itself. Who owns it? And that is a massive question. Now, again, Lynette takes covering any of this as attacking her. Like I said, Lynette, when you look back at any of this stuff, what you need to remember is I didn't put you here. I told you this was a stupid idea. I told you to go talk to a lawyer outside of this circle of people. Because they're, and again, not to get a lawyer to go and sue or do anything, but just to talk to somebody and to see if the actions that you are engaging in are something that you should indeed pursue. Because these folks, they are making decisions. You said it yourself. Unless they're talking about it, you don't know anything about the case. What frightens me in that isn't just you getting your advice from people like 2L, who have no idea what they're talking about half the time. They're using AI to make decisions. AI is prompted off of what you input into it. So many of those are stupid decisions. But you're also listening to people like a person that is in trouble right now, big trouble with the bar. Like I said, I don't think personally he will lose everything. It just depends on what he does and how much he pushes them. I could see a suspension for I don't know how long. I could see them suspending for X amount of time. But with this, I'm curious too. I'm curious how cooperative he'll be. Because I don't imagine, like, if they come in and they say, hey, will you take X? He'll be like, no. That's how Bruce acts, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. But I do wonder. But still, she's taking advice from people that, again, they have not done well for themselves. So why would you think they'd do well for you? I think some of them have actually given you advice that I think it might be actionable. But anyway, when you're looking at all of this, blame these people. You want to blame everyone else, Lynette. You want to look at, like I said, like myself, you want to look at our conversation as some negative. I told you what you needed to do. I told you how awful these people are. I told you about their records. I told you a lot of things. And you know what? You definitely knew part of it already. You knew that they had kept money. You knew that they wouldn't tell you amounts. You know how inappropriate that is. But you said, I can't afford to talk to somebody. And like I said to you then, you can't afford not to. And you look at where you are now. And again, that is not an I told you so, lady. This is when you look at advice that people have given you, who has misled you to this point? Who? Is it the people that you considered the people you considered bad guys in this, or is it the people that you considered friends? Like, that's the craziest part. Let me turn the subtitles on. Let's go, baby.
Her deposition. She won't answer questions. She actually admitted on the record that Crook owns none of the property.
Yep.
Now she keeps saying, well, if you believe it, in your opinion, to Randy. She's also been complaining about people posting things about her own child. And yet, who's the person that has used this child from the very beginning for fundraising scam after fundraising scam after fundraising scam, and literally even posted with the child online yesterday, making it public? She's in trouble, just like her lawyer, LOL, Deuce, who got a motion denied this morning. We find out that he has representation now against the Florida Bar Association because the Florida Bar is apparently moving forward with the dozen felony charges.
Wait. I want to throw something in here. Melissa called something out that is pretty interesting. So she put up a post. I want you to hear this real fast, okay? So she said, wait, hit the brakes. So in the hearing, or in the live stream last night, 2L and the gang, they were like, yeah, I asked John, this was 2L, I asked John what the front of his property, what the measurements were. He went out and he measured it. Then the other host was like, right after he had knee surgery, he was using a walker. And 2L was like, yeah, he went out. So, okay. Melissa's like, wait a minute. So Cook had surgery and measured for the fence like she asked. He had surgery and measured the fence on November 13th, 2023. Lisa, you didn't get involved until August 2024. You didn't get the fence idea until September 2024. And the fence panels were delivered November the 13th, 2024. So how did you ask him to measure on a walker a whole year prior to them being delivered, which weren't even involved? So, you know, why note that? Because it's not one or two details that are wrong in these recollection, these retelling of things. I mean, it's everything. Everything is amiss. Everything. It turns into this spectacular dumpster fire. Oh, let's continue.
That means jail.
Jail. You know, if the
Randy just got done asking
if the courts operated like they're supposed to, by the way, you would have, you know, these people are like, he said jail and I haven't gone yet. Some of these people are like, you're like, yeah, you know, if courts operated and police operated like they should, some of these mofos should be in jail. I very much think so. And, you know, when you look at men, but it's hard to get anybody. I really hope, by the way, that police do pay attention. I hope to God, if there are police out there listening to this stuff, we've repeatedly noted just insane stuff that has gone on with these folks. The things that they do when we're going through items. I'm not obligated to nicety. If I can call a person names if I want to. I don't have to be nice to somebody that has, I mean, again, like recently they targeted Mark, you know, the guy who he'll pull transcripts. They targeted him, and they didn't target him with just regular threats. They noted where he lived. They talked about his kids, all kinds of shit. Craziness, you know, to try to back him off. Instead, that just motivates people, by the way. But nastiness. So yeah, I hope police are listening to the fact that they noted that Megan Fox didn't actually call any landlord. That is not only defamation, but that they said they reported to the police. That was a lie. That was a huge lie. A huge lie they compounded by going out and motivating people to attack. They also said people shut down a school. All this stuff. I mean, again. And with the money thing, why don't you talk to some donors? See what they think. Why don't you talk to somebody like Lynette Preston? Again, she's in bankruptcy right now, but you don't, again, they're saying, I'm keeping the money. It's mine. Like, it's not I'm holding it for something. It is. People are telling me I have every right to spend it, and anything put in, anything donated to the channel there is actually mine. You know, it's just crazy. Florida is supposed to protect the elderly from shit like that. But anyway, let's go.
A lot of questions about her Northport home, about the Otter Creek property, about the homes that were on the property, about stating she was my new neighbor. And Lynette did what she does best. She lies. How could Lynette tell Randy straight-faced in a deposition that she was our new neighbor? Because everything was done. They were waiting on the buyer who had the money, right? Mm-hmm. How could that be possible? Now, if you're going, Jeremy, I don't even know what you're referring to. Don't worry. There's a bunch of videos in this series on the deposition. It's the one before this. YouTube actually dates every single video in multiple places. If you just go back to the video tab, you can find it. Lynette states to Randy, in her mind,
that's true too, James.
Was our new neighbor. Randy goes, well,
James noted, you know, it's not what you know, it's what you prove in court. And they keep stalling to dodge court. Yeah, unfortunately for them, like with the bankruptcy, the judge themselves seems to be getting wise to the fact that, you know, they don't seem to want to go. The judge kind of called that out. Judges, again, bankruptcy courts especially, do not like you to use them, in the way that this stuff is being conducted. They don't like that at all. So that judge, we'll see. That judge has not seen yet, anyway, that we know of, the conduct in the last depot. This one that's being discussed. That's why this stuff is so interesting, because we just got an order talking about what had happened there, but or what had happened in the prior one, and that judge, ooh, baby. God, I talked about it, but I imagine Megan and myself will talk about it with the context of everything else, and man, it is something. But here we go.
And on the property, so how could you be his neighbor? She goes, well, everything was done. It was basically ours. We had an offer. We were just waiting on money from the buyer for our Northport home. That means they had a contingency contract. So they put in an offer. It was $22,500 on the Otter Creek Turd Purgatory, contingency based on selling their property. They come to the property in July, tell me through email, we have the emails.
Yeah.
We're getting neighbors.
That is a problem, by the way.
We're going to put up a sanctuary for turtles. Because I used to always say, I love turtles. Not anymore. I love goats.
I love
goats. They get my totes. My totes get my goats. She goes on to say that everything was all done. They were just waiting on the financing from the buyer. Except this is a major...
Got to work on that slogan a little.
Lynette's Otter Creek property contingent on the
sale
of the property in North.
It sounds like they're like moving your shit around in your garage or something. Totes goats. My goats get my totes. That does. It sounds like, hey, haul that around. Put that in my garage, goat.
Northport, except when she's stating she's my new neighbor in July of 2021. The Northport home is not on the market for sale yet. She's a pathological, manipulating witch. Demon possessed, most likely. This is insane. The way her toothless mouth just seethes lie after lie after lie. She's telling Randy everything was already lined up. We were just waiting for the financing from the buyer on Northport. No, the home wasn't even on the market yet for sale.
It's crazy.
Insanity of it all. The complete and total insanity of it all. And of course, I'm sure you know, it's going to get crazier.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where Randy actually has to stop the deposition. So let's jump right back into it. Yeah, blame me. Everybody else does. Deuce, Lynette, fat, toothless flea. Okay.
I blame you.
So Randy was just asking questions about house number 1, house number 2, house number 3. Lynette's going, we couldn't rebuild. The floor and the electric was bad in house number 3. Kind of sounded like Yoda. Randy goes, you're jumping all over the place here with your answers. Can I just get a yes or a no? Listen carefully to my questions. You're adding different answers back and forth. She's lying. Lynette goes on, interrupts him again. He goes, excuse me, ma'am, you're literally interrupting me right now. He goes, what did you just say? She goes, nothing. Randy goes, okay. House number 3, in your opinion, as you sit here today, house number 3, one second, tear that page off. Was it livable when you purchased the property?
That,
this is a major thing because to have a homestead in
you have to have a
Florida, Levy County, Otter Creek, they have to have a legally livable home dwelling with an occupancy permit. She's claiming there's 3 homes on this property. Not a single one have an occupancy permit. We already...
Here's my major question in all of this, though. Why didn't anybody, all those people that were cheerleading Lynette Preston to go into bankruptcy, why didn't any of them look up any of these statutes? Why didn't one person do that? Again, are they all that stupid? Or is it something else? And again, I don't have the answer to that. I cannot tell you which one it is. But I find it disturbing that, again, you have all of these people that, again, they cheerleaded that, including lawyers. But not one person bothered to look up any of the statutes that would potentially, it would decide or possibly protect her property. They told her that there was no risk. She was just going to be able to snap in, snap out. That was it. So why? Again, maybe they're all idiots. Maybe that's the easiest answer there. They're just all idiots. Or again, maybe there's something more nefarious about it. I mean, these are people that, again, Lynette, you had bad things to say about some of them. And then suddenly you have nothing. So, which is it? Are they all that incompetent? That includes all lawyers, that they can't even look up statutes to see, hey, Lynette, are you going to be able to keep things? Or was it something else? See, I come back to that all the time because I wonder, like, is this something worse even than just stupidity? And again, Lynette, you should be asking those questions, because if I'm looking at it and thinking, wow, these are basic fundamentals when you do stuff like this. Why wouldn't one person ask this? Either you're dealing with idiots, and that may be just the answer right there. If you're dealing with that kind of idiots, I wouldn't want to be dealing with that. I mean, this oversight is a huge, glaring one. Or, again, the other question. That's bad too.
Levy County has condemned everything, sold the property as vacant land. There is no residential dwelling on the property. She goes, no, not at the time we purchased it. No. So Randy follows up with the question, okay, so did Levy County say this to you? Because she said in house number 1, it was falling apart. They couldn't do anything. House number 2 was falling apart. They couldn't do anything. House number 3 had a bad floor and had bad electric, but they can't do anything. Which Randy went on to say, well, why didn't you just remodel it? Why don't you spend minimal amount of money remodeling something to live in instead of putting up some barn? A shelving. So he goes on to say, did Levy County say that you can't live there, that you have to take all these structures down? Did Levy County say that you could not repair house number 3? Because Lynette, under oath, said it only had a bad floor and had bad electric. Did they say it must be taken down? She said, yes, because it's condemned. It's condemned property. Oh my goodness, you're going to get into some of the most foolish stuff from Lynette here. I'm just shaking my head as I'm taking notes. Randy goes, okay, well, that's a very different answer than just saying the floor needs to be repaired or electric work needs to be done. And it would be too expensive to actually repair house number 3 on this property. She goes, it's not too expensive. Whoa, 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 whoa. Randy goes, are you saying it is too expensive to do this remodel repairs? Because that's what she answered earlier in the deposition. Or legally, you could, and then she starts screaming and yelling. I can't even get down everything she's screaming and yelling. She's just all over the place. She's manic. She's screaming. And Randy goes, again. There's the interruption again.
Again.
He goes, Saran wrap. again, Randy.
Yeah, that would be annoying, by the way. That would be very annoying. I mean, you're talking about all of this is taking place within a small amount of time. You know, too, Lynette, if you would just let the depot happen, you'd be done within 1 day. You wouldn't potentially be looking at more problems, more issues. And again, it looks like your lawyer was even telling you, hey, reel it in. It looks like you in this thing are out of control, that to the point that even the person there that is advocating for you, the person that works for you, the one that communicates with the court, you're ignoring them. That's bad looking.
He's very professional. He is not calling her counselor Saran Wrap. I do it just to protect people's names.
Well,
Saran Wrap.
They used to say that they didn't want, with Hale, it's funny because like with Bruce, for example, Bruce at first was like, oh, I don't, my name, blah, blah, blah. So he gets called Deuce Foreskin. And then it's like, anti-Semitic. And it's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Somebody makes a joke about you because we're going to use your real name, but you didn't want us using your real name. You complained about it. And again, but at least, so I'll give Ramsaram 1 day for sure. As far as the outer engagement, the craziness, he doesn't seem to have bought into that at all. In fact, he's avoided it unless there's something going on I don't know about. He's avoided it outright. And it seems like even he is shocked by some of the things that go on in the courtroom.
You please get your client under control. I can't say this enough. Saran Wrap was very professional. He, in my opinion, is a horrible lawyer. Clueless at times. As a matter of fact, there are many judges have stated that on the record or along those terms. I'm paraphrasing. But he was very professional in this hearing. And he does, yet again, try to get Lynette under control. He goes, Lynette, he's calling her Michelle, which is not her legal name.
That's true.
Right. Come to find out, she never did give us our legal name, did she? Except she gave us Lynette Michelle Barber, which is on her birth certificate. It's the only legal name we actually got from her. He goes, let him finish the question. This way, we have a complete and clear record. That's the whole purpose. We need everything in the record. We need to allow people to finish the question. He will allow you to finish the answer. Even if you can anticipate the question, allow it to be finished being asked. There's a point to writing everything down. This is a legal under oath document. This is being used in court, in trial, and she's screwed.
It's definitely
Saran Wrap didn't say she's screwed, but Saran Wrap already knows she's screwed. I guarantee you that. He goes on to say, listen, it's for your
They all
benefit.
seem to know that, Lynette.
You are actually going to...
Lynette, they all seem to know it. They all seem to know. The only person that seems to be, even you seem to know that you're quite potentially looking at losing everything. Even they're using that as an excuse not to withhold money. And they're saying, well, did you, by the way, Lynette, when you signed on to the bankruptcy, did you think that would be used as an excuse for, hey, that's one of the reasons we didn't give her the money? Because it certainly wasn't one before that. Like I said, when you talk to me, make things that make you go, huh.
Benefit, if you stop and you pause and you just listen, it eats up more time. He didn't say it eats up more time. I'm throwing that in there. But he's trying to elude. Come on. Saran Wrap goes, I apologize for talking so much on the record. Now, you have to understand, 3 times Saran Wrap has asked the deposition to be paused so he can get Lynette under control off the record. He's not even He's not even trying to do it off the record anymore. He is doing it on the record. The court will see everything. The judge will see everything. So he goes, I'm sorry for talking so much on the record. Randy goes, no, I truly appreciate it.
Right.
This is to our benefit.
Yeah, for real.
How many times has she been reprimanded already? How many times has this deposition been put on pause already? Saran Wrap isn't even asking for it to be paused anymore. He
I just can't imagine being. Can you imagine being a lawyer and having this kind of control issue with your client? I mean, again, I get when clients I get it when they get worked up. I do. But I mean, this was adversarial from go. And if she wants to claim that, here's the other thing I have a problem with and what these folks are saying. All right. If they want to claim that Randy, he's terrible because X, Y, and Z, they were fine with Bruce, the guy who said that he wanted to destroy Jeremy Hales. He created the anti-Hales media ecosystem, which they're trying to deny hardcore now that they ever had anything to do with. But Bruce said he got to depose Jeremy Hales. And they said that was okay. So if that is okay, tell me how in the hell is Randy Shockett not okay to depose Lynette Preston? Again, their own statements. It's all gravy, baby. Okay. All right.
Randy goes, no, I actually appreciate it. Believe me, I've said this how many times to her already? This is insanity. It obviously isn't sinking in. So Randy says again, take a breath before you answer. Wait for me to stop. Then Randy is even trying to help her. He goes, if I'm not saying anything, then you know it's okay to start answering. Let me finish my question. He goes, okay. She won't answer. It is a question. Okay? He asks again. She goes, yes! Randy goes on. Okay, so do you understand? There's two different answers you've given here. And I'm trying to figure out which is which. I want to know what's the truth.
Right.
You said that you couldn't fix the home because of the flooring and the electrical, because it was going to be too expensive, right? She goes, yes. Okay, but that's not true, is it? The real reason is that Levy County told you that it is non-repairable at all, no matter at what cost. Right? You will not believe Lynette's answer. Basically both.
How can you be both?
No, it's not a both.
How can you be both?
One or the other. Levy County has condemned the structures.
Yeah. If a structure is condemned, then it's condemned.
Randy, in his patience and his wisdom, he goes, okay, well then tell us how it's both, because they're very different. She goes, they're not different. He goes, okay, then explain it, how they're not different. She goes, there is too much work that had to be done to make it a livable dwelling. Oh, so she just admits on the record again, there's no livable dwelling. That means there's no legal dwelling. That means there's no homestead exemption. That means they will have to pay back all illegal homestead exemptions they have benefited from these past few years, lying to Levy County. A little bit more foreshadowing. We will get there. It's already in the process with Levy County. Okay. So Randy goes, did Levy County tell you it can't be rebuilt or repaired? Here we go. Yes, and I've already said that. Wait, now hold a second. Didn't Lynette say that she wanted something else? Be too expensive. Okay. So Randy goes, why would it matter how much money it takes? if somebody came in with $10 million, let's say Jeremy Hales comes in with $10 million, wants to spend it on rebuilding the flooring, the electrical system, which is interesting because I own a 100-year-old schoolhouse that needs new flooring, potentially new electrical. I mean, there's been a lot of things I've been doing, remodeling a 100-year-old schoolhouse. So somebody like Jeremy Hales comes in and goes, listen, cost, no, doesn't matter. Spare no expense. I want it back to its original beauty. Levy County would still say no. Now, Randy didn't use me as an example. I'm using me as an example. Is that what you're telling us here today? That you would not be able to remodel that beautiful home on that beautiful piece of property, sparing no expense if I had millions of dollars? She goes, I have no idea what the county would say. Randy goes, okay. You just said and testified what they told you. She goes, no, you're asking me to think about what they would say. And no, I'm not.
Think about
I'm
what
following
they would
your
say.
Statements under oath.
What does that even mean?
And he goes, did Levy County tell you that, yes, it can be repaired no matter what the cost? No. She is getting more angry, more volatile, filled with rage. I've only known one other.
You know why she's like this right now, though? I'll tell you. It's because she's losing. She knows that she is about to lose everything. See, at first, I thought it was just Randy. But no, I think she's feeling the pressure. Like everything is collapsing around her. She is seeing in real time the results of all of this stupid. And maybe, just maybe, she is starting to recognize that she wasn't the architect of something that might have saved her. Someone else was the architect of really the demise of everything that she had put together, all of her dreams there. She thought when all this came together that she thought she had a massive amount of money, didn't get it. She thought she had enough to repair a barn and do all of this. Now, again, these people, like I said at the beginning, they're telling her, sign over your property for $1. You remember when they said that about Lloyd? You remember that, by the way? See, I was thinking back to this. Lloyd stated that they told him to sign over his camper for $1 a day. Right? We were like, that seems crazy. If anybody told you to sign over stuff, would you do that? Especially these folks. But it reminded me of that situation. And everybody was like, that's nuts. But they brought it up last. Oh, man, you should sign it over like $1, Lynette. And they'll totally give it back to you. Totally. You know, I'm sure that'll happen. I'm sure everything will go just like you want it. You know? I mean, they've totally been your friends. They've never turned on you or anything publicly, right? They've never talked about keeping your money or anything, right? Oh, man, what a crazy situation.
Person that has more anger, more rage, more
what up, Tizzy?
Internal battles than Lynette. It's scary. Okay. So why did you tell us under oath that it would just be too expensive to do it? So you decided to build a whole new house, which isn't even a house, it's a shell thing. Why did you tell us that under oath? Because we talked to the engineer and the man that was there, that's exactly what he said. Hold a second. Lynette under oath says that's exactly what he said. A conversation from 2021. Earlier in her deposition,
yeah, she can't remember.
She stated
that's true
that she can't recall or remember things
that's
because
true.
She has PTSD from childhood and the abuses.
I read that through. That's true. Her memory is shot. She can't remember anything, but she can remember a conversation from around 5 years ago. That is strange, you know. It's wild when somebody they know the photographic memory when it suits them. Lynette, you are your own worst enemy, lady. You really are. It's wild. It's wild, man.
Going on at her home with Crook is just too much. It's affecting her ability to remember everything. But now she remembers a conversation with the engineer from 2021 in full detail. It's exactly, she didn't say I'm paraphrasing, exactly what he said. So now she can pick and choose what she actually remembers. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
Isn't the judge going to love
Isn't that
this?
fascinating?
Randy goes on, who is the man that was there? Oh, we get details. She remembers the details. We had an hour-long conversation with the manager. She remembers exactly how long the conversation was.
Huh.
What happened to PTSD? What happened to the current abuse and stress? She can't remember anything. But man, we're going back 5 years and she knows it all now.
Yep.
All right, he goes, okay, well,
that's kind of wild.
Man? Who's the man? I don't recall. There's the PTSD. There we go. She doesn't remember his name. That's odd because we have a lot of text messages between him and her. It was all FOIA'd, all for the trial. We have it all. And she has a lot of nasty things to say about Fat Toothless Fleece of Flea. A lot. A lot of it was recent.
Yep.
Randy goes on to say, did he represent the government authority? He was Levy County Inspections. He's an engineer. Okay. So is that the only person that was there? She goes, I asked them to send out their engineer who inspects properties to see what you can do with it. And they sent him out, and that was the conversation we had. We talked about a lot of things. Oh, PTSD memory is, that issue is gone now. She remembers all these things they talked about.
Yep.
Comes and goes like that getting diabetes. Them heart issues Fat Toothless Fleece of Flea has comes and goes. Gotta get my teeth pulled. Got some heart issues.
She did say that.
Long-term flu. Got the flu.
You know, it's weird too. So the things that she blamed on other things before, the medical issues, she blamed on Lynette the other night. Gabe blamed on Lynette, talking about the stress of everything. I mean, this is a person that has done some awful shit, by the way. Again, they're like, oh, the stress I've suffered. Dude, can you imagine, again, the shit that has been pointed like Hale's way? They're like, oh, I've suffered. You all tried to burn his business. You did damage to his business. You did. I mean, they're proud of that too, but they did. They went after every facet of his business. Everybody around him. They all continually get together, this group, and write every person and try to make sure that they, I'm going to say, dissuade them from any of that. Isn't that weird, man? Isn't that weird? They say it's stressful and horrible for them. And again, all they do is, they spend anybody that even remotely talks about what they've done. Oh, I'm going to call the cops on them. It's very strange, isn't it? So Jeremy Hales is supposed to eat shit for years, and he was supposed to be okay about it. But they get a little blowback for their actions. People are like, hey, what's up with that? What's up with that money? What's up with this crazy? And they're like, oh my God, Lynette Preston gets blamed too. That's probably one of my favorite parts of all of this, Lynette, that you have to in order to walk with these people, you have to eat crap for them. You have to be to blame for the permits. You have to be a blame for Lisa, any kind of her medical problems or her stress. You have to be blamed for everything. It's all your fault, Lynette. I'm sure you enjoy that.
By the way, Deuce was listening. He's such a coward. He was listening to his hearing under his wife's account on Zoom instead of his own.
I saw that.
Coward.
I didn't catch that at first, but I saw that in the aftermath. After a minute,
Randy goes, I understand you're giving me two different reasons. You understand the issue here. She's lying under oath, perjury. We got two different reasons. You can't rebuild because it's too expensive or it's condemned, one or the other. She has no occupancy permits whatsoever. She's already stated that the county said that she can't do anything. That all has to be torn down. They have no homestead. The federal bankruptcy court, the trustee, is seizing all the property. They already know they're seizing all the property. They've offered it to me multiple times. I've declined. Randy goes on to say, did he ever say to you, you know what, it's just too expensive to remodel. You're going to have to rebuild. Is that what you're telling me here today? He said it's too expensive or it legally cannot be done. She goes on to say, well, that's one of the things he said. Wait, are you saying he said both? He said a lot of things. How can she remember?
Right.
How? It's the PTSDs. How? Randy goes, let's try this again. Are you saying that he said both? You cannot remodel or rebuild. The structure is condemned, or it would be too expensive to remodel and rebuild the flooring and the electrical. Did he say both? Yes. And she's getting meaner and meaner and meaner by the second. Did you get any paperwork on that? Randy wants to know. That said it couldn't be repaired. It's just too expensive. Did Levy County give you any paperwork? And Lynette starts screaming, interrupting the whole deal. I can't even get down everything that's coming out of her putrid mouth, okay? It's just a bunch of, and I guarantee you it's not going to be in the transcripts either, because the court reporter cannot type two people talking at the same time when it's all, and I can't take notes at the same time, two people talking at the same time over each other.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible to do that. That's one of the biggest downsides, like with the court reporter or whatever, them trying to actually catch everything that's going on. God, what a bunch of chaos, I'm sure.
What you're going to see in the transcripts are Randy going, again with the interruptions. Take a breath before you answer. Did you get any paperwork from Levy County that says the property cannot be repaired? It's just too expensive. No. Okay. So as you sit here today, your testimony is house number 1, house number 2, house number 3 could not be legally repairable at all, no matter the expense, correct? Yes. Thank you. Randy, through all of this, still being polite and thanking her. So basically, you're stating that there was no legal residential structure that was occupiable. That's the question, right? If there is no livable legal structure, there is no homestead. Therefore, there is no homestead exemption with bankruptcy. And bankruptcy court already knows this. You just have to go through the process and the procedures. You got the deposition, you're going to have the hearing, then it's going to be seized, then it's going to be sold. You have to go through the proper steps. They already know this. They already seen all of this. The steps still have to be gone through. Randy goes on to say, this Otter Creek property, when you purchased it, it was not occupiable, correct? Well, when you say it that way, correct. There was no home occupiable. We were told we had to rebuild. Boom! Now she's going to blame this all on me, right? She just under oath stated there is no homestead exemption. She never had an occupancy permit. All the homes were condemned. She has no legal home. A shed is not a home. A camper is not a home. A camper is allowed to be there for so many weeks during a build. They are not building. They have no permits whatsoever. They have no occupancy permit for whatsoever. They're pooping and peeing in a bucket.
Yep.
While an almost 7-year-old is still in a diaper. Randy goes on to say, do you understand that that means the county is condemning the structure when they do that? You do know that, right? They did not condemn it. To condemn it means they were to put a sign condemned. They didn't do that.
Good Lord. That's not what
Levy County. Do you think anybody is proactive enough to put signs up? By the way, when a property is condemned, you don't put a sign up front.
Maybe that's just going back to signs. Maybe that talks about how they perceive the use of signs. Wasn't there signs in this this whole litigation? Didn't we hear something about signs once? I seem to remember something about that. Although this has been going on for like a billion years, right? It does seem like it's been going on a long time. Yeah. Isn't this a wild I mean, for real. Do you ever step back and think, this has been going on for like a million years? And you know what's wild is okay, so bankrupt. Do you know John Cook, by the way, thinks that he posted this. I forgot about this totally. He thinks that when the bankruptcy ends, that it ends all the cases. He thinks they end. They stop. So he thinks even stuff, I guess, against him, he thinks it all just stops. Like, no joke. I actually thought I read that wrong at first, but let me see. I'll quote it. He really does think that. Let me see. I totally forgot about that. I think I've got it in my phone. But he was he was posting away a bunch of. I mean, I'm not surprised that he thinks that, but the problem is that it's a misunderstanding of how any of this stuff works. So with him thinking that means someone probably, so he said, quote, I'm quoting him here, right? Once the bankruptcy goes through, there is no thumbnail case. There are no cases. He thinks all cases just disappear. Once the bankruptcy goes through, there will be no sanctions, no nothing. The court itself said sanctions after the fact. He just thinks that all the cases, he said there will be no cases, none. He thinks it's just a race to everything. Now you got to admit that's pretty wild, right? But he did. He posted that. He told somebody, he was like, once the bankruptcy goes through, there are no more cases. So I don't know. Do you think that removes your case obligations? Like when you're being sued, John, do you think somehow Lynette, who is not attached to you in any way, you think that the case just disappears against you, man? That is the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. Oh my God. Anyway.
Huge flashing lights. Condemned, condemned, condemned. Okay, Randy says, so you're saying the 3 houses, Otter Creek property, they were never condemned by Levy County. So how do you understand condemning something, ma'am? What's to be condemned? She goes, I've seen properties that were condemned and they put a big red sign on it. It says condemned. It should be condemned right now, right? There should be a huge red sign out there. Condemned! Except there's a sign out there that says, a smelly, stinky e-baker is around here.
Yeah, I love that one.
There's actually 2. Lynette, Crook. Do not enter! We never had that happen on our property. Randy goes on, I never asked you about a sign anywhere. How did you understand it not to be condemned or condemned.
Right.
She goes, no one told me. He goes, again. So he was in the midst of a question, and she's in the process of interrupting, yelling.
Again, you know he's going to get frustrated with this shit. You know. I mean, this is the first rodeo. And he said it's not going to go like it did before. She wanted there to be like 8 hours plus of this nonsense, too. You know what else is fun? 2L. 2L has yet gotten hit with the questions about all of this. Oh my God, I forgot something else in there too. So they also admitted that they had been putting things behind paywall so they can get a gotcha. They are trying to create damages. Number one, they put a show that was public so anybody could watch it and talk about it, see it, record, whatever. Then they shove it behind a paywall. And then they're like, gotcha, if you talk about it. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And they also want to use it as damages, even though they shove it under a $500 paywall that nobody can see. Meanwhile, it kills your channel. I mean, that murders your channel. And that would be my argument right off the bat. It'd be like, look, any money they've talked about in the past, any revenue decline, they created this. They have the majority of their stuff hiding it because they're hoping, because they're trying to count the money. Like with Megan Fox, they're like, oh, she's going to have to sell her home. I'm like, no, what's going to happen is you're going to get hit with a hell of a freaking cost for it, because she will come in with a lawyer. She won't be pro se like these morons have been, and you will get hit with attorney fees. That will 100% noted. And you've been dumb enough to talk about how you tried to set this thing up for damages and more. So you're not going to be filing that shit away anytime soon. It's going to be a real fun ride. And if Megan makes enough money off that, which, if she puts enough money in there, she should put together a countersuit, in my opinion. She should put together a hell of a countersuit against this moron. Not just let her a free ride. I think Megan's in the mood for it, too. They think Megan's somebody to come after. Woo, baby. It's fun time. They were also like, Tuggy's been using profanity. That means he's upset. I'm like, have you ever watched my show? The only time I don't use profanity is if my mama walked in the room, I'd be like, and it turns off. If my kids bump in the room, it turns off. But otherwise, I use a lot of profanity. It's like, what? That means he's upset. Yeah. Well, I laugh a lot while I'm upset there, I guess.
Screaming, volatile, angry, rage, you name it. Toothless rage.
So funny.
He goes, again, you interrupted me. He goes, you know what, Saran Wrap? If this happens one more time, now keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. I am going to stop the deposition. Do you understand? Stopping the deposition doesn't stop Lynette's responsibility. And he follows it up with this. I'm going to get the transcript. I'm going to take it to the judge. I can't do this. I simply cannot do this. We are going to get a special master in here that's going to have to start racking up fines and sanctions on every time she does this. We're only at 10:49 a.m. This must have happened how many times at this point, despite your best efforts, Saran Wrap? So Randy is talking to Saran Wrap right now. You've told your witness, I've told the witness, wait until a question is fully completed before answering. Is there anything you can do with her? I just can't continue this way.
Right.
We are wasting the court reporter's time. The flow of the deposition changes. Every time she does this, Saran Wrap on the record steps in.
Yep.
Michelle. Let
when there's a problem.
The questions. I know you want to answer. I know you're anticipating the question. This isn't a conversation. Saran Wrap tells her, this isn't a conversation, and you have to remember that. This is a deposition. It's different. And frankly, like I've said before, it's for your own benefit.
Yeah.
Honestly answer the questions. To do it that way, letting him finish.
Yeah, well,
Even if
that typically, this would be, if everything is in her favor, like she says, it's 100%. This is just clarification. All of this stuff too. We didn't even get to like any really adversarial questions. The questions were pretty simple. And when you look at their structure here, it was, what is your legal name? You know, it was asking about what names she's used on documentation, like what her signature is. And as far as the warranty deed that she has, what name is on it? How did that name come to pass? How did that end up on there? You know, another thing, Lynette, that is very confusing. She said that the place that provided that Bennett Law, she said that they ended up filing a bar complaint against them, that they had a ruling in their favor and they got all of their money back. Now, weirdly enough, in that, I looked and other people have looked as well. And unless there is another place that I am not seeing out there, in the look back over the last, I believe, 10 years, they have had no issues. Nothing like that has happened. So as far as having, again, some kind of order against them where they were forced by the bar to do a payback, I can't find any proof of that whatsoever. Lynette says that happened. So I would love to see some clarification on that, Lynette, to actually showcase. Again, you very well claim, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying that if you're not lying there, I can't find the proof on it. Again, one of the things that when this stuff comes up, a lot of people look for proof of that. Again, I think it's a simple thing. If they screwed up so badly for you, because she said that they didn't do like a title search or anything in the main signing, but in the background, in the aftermath, they actually did that. They did it, and whatever happened was so bad, they did a bar complaint, which I'm curious about, by the way. Who did the bar complaint? Lynette, did you write a bar complaint? I mean, I'm just trying to imagine this. I saw you write in this stuff for the grudge judge. So I'm trying to imagine you writing in a bar complaint. That's got to be epic. If you got an bar complaint like that you wrote back when by yourself, send it to me. Please, God, send it to me. I want to read that. But you're going to tell me you filed a bar complaint on your own because you didn't have a lawyer, right? You weren't working with a lawyer before. You skipped that part. But you wrote a bar complaint and it was accepted and you got your money back. So like I said, it'd be very easy to prove that. Very, very easy. So if you have it, I would love to see proof of that. It would shut all the naysayers up, right? It would shut them down just like that. So again, why not?
If you know what he's going to say, take a second.
It looks like 10.
Give me an opportunity to object as well. So Wrap has to tell her to shut up so he can object.
Yep.
Randy comes in with Saran Wrap and says, right, your lawyer even wants to object, but you're interrupting us both.
That's wild, isn't it?
He goes, look at me, ma'am.
Your lawyer wants to object, but
if this happens,
you won't let them.
Despite our best efforts, if it happens one more time, we're taking this up to the judge for sanctions. Do you understand? Yes, sir.
You want to hear something funny?
Now, did you hear Randy say we're stopping?
You want me to? You want to hear something really funny? Now, again, we're doing the read through, right? But for the conclusion, I was reading forward. Okay, listen to this little bitty part of this. This is fun. This is at the end, and again, we've got a ways to go before we hit this. But my God, when I stepped across this, I thought, That's nuts. So you have a discussion with them, it's talking about, there's a John Cook, there's a question about him, and you have the note. She answers, and he's like, you cut off again. She's like, I'm sorry. He's like, you know what? We're done. We're absolutely done. We're going to move for sanctions. We're going to compel a special master here to control this witness. We'll take it up with the court. And Ramsaran is like, look, Mr. Shockett, you want to try again? I think she's flustered. Maybe we can. And Randy comes in, and he says, no, she's not. She just left, by the way. And Ramsaran is like, wait, Michelle. So he lost control of his client so much. She did indeed leave. And Ramsaran is on the record saying, wait. So she did indeed. She kept interrupting, and he was like, look, this is ridiculous. We're going to bring in someone to control. And Ramsaran's just like, she's flustered. Maybe we can work something out. And Shockett's like, she just left, by the way. He didn't even, she didn't walk out. She left. So when they said that she walked out, it's on it's there. It's in the transcript. I looked at it myself. I'm looking at it right now. When we get there, I will take you a lovely screenshot, and I will provide it on my own. But yes, it did. Yeah, she's just like, I'm out. So when they said that's all a lie and everything, oh no. She just was like, oh, no. Randy was like, look, you keep interrupting. We're going to bring somebody in. You have the lawyers. They're talking. Because Ramsaran is like, hey, she's flustered. Maybe we can get another chance in this, right? I mean, that happens. You end up working it out. That's what the lawyers do. While that's happening, she leaves. Right in the conversation, she just leaves. So with them saying, oh, no, Randy, he did this or that. No, it had not been concluded. You can see it on the record. They're taking notes of it. He had not concluded anything. Again, until it has been concluded. When he's like, we're done. Again, that is lawyer. They go back and forth until they're like, okay, we're going to stop this. And then da-da-da. But they had not officially stopped anything. And Ramsaran was not even aware that she had walked out. You can see it in the it's amazing. It is amazing stuff. All right, let's continue though. But that again, they all lied. They lied without having a by the way, they adopted a narrative without even knowing what happened. They just assumed, that people will buy it and believe it. They didn't have a transcript. They didn't have anything in front of them. They just told you, yeah, believe me. Seriously, why? Because I said so. It's the way it goes over and over and over again. But I'm supposed to believe these people when they say somebody has done something horrific or, there's some applied truth. You give people the benefit of the doubt until you doubt. The benefit of the doubt is not benefiting from doubt. There's a difference. Anyway, let's go.
And you can go.
It's crazy though. It is on the record.
And you can pack everything up and leave. No, he outlined, we will pause here. He used the word stop. That the questions will stop. We're then taking the transcript from the court reporter to the judge. Then we're getting a special magistrate that's going to sit right down here next to you. And every time you interrupt, there's going to be another sanction. Here's another $1,000. Here's another $1,000. Here's another $1,000. At no point in time was she told she could leave. But we all know
it's not on the right. Yeah, she was never told she could leave. There's nothing there.
Randy goes on to say we're going to take this up for sanctions with the judge.
Exact words that Randy says. Exactly. She says, again, there's a question. I don't know the way it comes in, but I'm going to read exactly word for word. So you have, what did John do in exchange for you paying $22,500? Did he promise to do something? No. Or it happened again. I'm sorry. We're done. We are absolutely done. We're going to move for sanctions. We're going to move to compel a special master here to control this witness in the future. We'll take it up to the court. you know, so you're going to take it up with the court. That means you're going to do it now. That doesn't mean we're going to stop and end. That means we're going to take it to the judge. We're going to take it up with the court. And Ramsaran again says, Mr. Shockett, you want to try again? I think she's flustered. Maybe we can. And then Randy cuts in right there and he's like, she's not. She just left, by the way. You know, so Ramsaran is like, wait, Michelle. And Randy's like, so we'll stop. I'll take a transcript. And it is. So, I mean, that's exactly how it is. That is word for word what it says. So, I mean, again, he's like, look, we're done with this mess. You know, what he's saying is we're done with these interruptions. We are going to ask for sanctions because of this, because it will not stop. The behavior will not stop. We need a special, you know, we need somebody to sit in, someone to control her. We're going to take it to the court. That's what they're going to do. Well, we are going to take it up to the court. And she just ghosts while they're talking about it. It's so crazy. Oh my God. God, I'd love to see a video of that. Wouldn't that be amazing? I wish we had a video of her just like popping out of her chair. And just because she was like, ugh. When they talked about it, she was like, he said it was over. So I got the kid, I got John, and we left it. So, no, you rabbited the fuck out there. And I mean, again, it shows in the transcript. Like, oh.
Do you understand? Yes, sir. Do you understand how important this is? And he's asking these questions. She interrupts again. And he goes, she just interrupted me again. Do you see that? Like I said, do you understand how important this is? She does it again. And he goes, and boom, there it is again. And she goes, yes, sir. He goes, you had no idea what I was going to continue to say. Now I'm finishing his sentences because I wrote them down. I did not write down her interruptions. I can't even remember what her interruptions were. They were so insane. She goes, you said, do you understand how important this is? And I said, yes, sir. Now, Randy never got the full question out. Be clear. He goes, that's not what happened. And everyone here knows it. Do you understand how important it is to the point where if you don't allow me to finish a question, we're going to take this, again, he states this, we're going to the judge and we're going to ask for sanctions again against you, which she's already sanctioned extremely heavily. So are you willing to stop interrupting me and answer my questions when I'm finished? She says yes. She'll stop interrupting Randy. That doesn't last long at all. Randy says, so when you say there were 3 structures on the property, on the existing land, the beautiful third purgatory, the legacy. This is the legacy property here. It's a legacy. Don't forget that, because who wouldn't want this piece of pile of trash? They want to stand on this trash.
Exactly like Candy Girl says here, you know. Yeah. Stop to get someone to sit in and mediate. That doesn't mean it's over. No, it doesn't. It also, when you're saying, again, the thing, they'll want to argue it, but you can tell just the way it is written up with Ransaran, like you can see, because again, he's like, Mr. Shockett, you and try again. I think she's getting flustered. Maybe we can. And, you know, they have the dash. That's the interruption, right? You know how in like any kind of transcript, when there's an interruption, you can see the dash and the other person is speaking. That tells you that it just cut in. So he says, maybe we can. And right when he says that, he doesn't even finish it. Shockett is like, she's not. She just left, by the way. So, and Ramsaran is like, wait, Michelle. So he's calling out for, hey, Michelle, where have you gone? And while that's happening, Shockett he cuts it and he's like, hey, so we'll stop. I'll take a transcript. So, I mean, you can see it's interruptions. You can tell that he doesn't know that Michelle is left. Like, that's the funniest thing. Like, when you're reading it again, you know, it's not just them talking, maybe I can. No, I mean, it's interruption. You can see he was not aware that his client left. That tells you all you need to know, that it was not a pre-planned thing. I mean, it's again, Lynette, as an outsider, some of her behavior to me, it's hilariously crazy. But oh my gosh, I could see how that would be annoying as shit. And to have, especially John Cook, some of the threats he's made, you know, like life as you get older. Again, I'm paraphrasing. Life in prison don't mean, you know. Yeah, you know, he's talking about, you know, popping someone in the head and feeding them to alligators. Yeah, that's some nasty business right there. You know, these are people that are walking around strapped too. And they're absolutely, like, that statement by itself is undeniable threat said to someone else. That should be a problem. But we see how this stuff works. Anyway, let's continue with this. Like I said, reading that, I was like, wow, that puts to bed all this stupid.
When you say that there were 3 structures that you purchased, it wasn't condemned. They were not. No condemnation whatsoever. They were not condemned by Levy County. And the reason is because you didn't see a big red sign saying condemned. She goes, I'm saying because prior to us buying it, there were people living in it. I suppose prior to anybody buying a piece of property, there might have been somebody living in it. As a matter of fact, I just went on a Bigfoot hunting expedition, and there was a cave that I was in called Old Man Cave. And it's called Old Man Cave because prior to me visiting there in the 1800s, a man was living in it. The Old Man's Cave. What does that have to do with condemnation? Condemning a piece of property. I cannot believe this. So in my mind, it had not been condemned.
Oh, in my mind,
I
it
didn't
hasn't
see
been.
a sign saying condemned. Levy County told us we had to rebuild.
That's never good either.
What mind?
In my mind, doesn't.
That's what I really want to know.
That's
what
not
mind?
legal.
You, when I say you, Lynette, had an ultimate plan to try and make millions of dollars off of my name. Off of me and George living across the street on 70 acres, thinking she was going to make so much money. She's made text messages and posts. She was going to put up signs, come buy my eggs.
Those messages
turtles.
are wild.
She's literally stated in text message, since I couldn't get donations at Half Mill to Grill, I'm not going. Oh, but she never asked for any money, right? She bought a piece of property, not knowing it was, number 1, condemned, not knowing, number 2, she doesn't own mineral rights, not knowing, number 3, she's never going to have enough money to even build a home, not knowing she's going to lose it in federal bankruptcy court because of the illegal things.
It's wild not owning the mineral rights and anything else. Buying that, first of all, with the condition and everything. She talked about, like I cannot for the life of me understand the excuses from Lynette Preston. Like Lynette, I do not get. You say you looked at this property over and over and over. It's property in the middle of nowhere. It's property that it's not good property. Let's just say it obviously has set for a long time. Nobody wanted it. And then you're saying that out of the blue, you decided, hey, my kid, you know, she has these health issues and we want to move to that place there. Out of any other place, that place there with no structures, no nothing. That's the place I want to go. Why? Again, if not Hale's, why? I don't get it. Like, I can't even fathom what other excuse there would be. Why would you want that properly? Like, who around there did you know so well that you were like, hey, I'd move out to this place? Again, in the middle of nothing. And Otter Creek is the middle of nothing. You know, people that live there, that is not an insult, by the way. You know, I've lived in the middle of nothing before. I've lived in some remote areas. They are nice to live in, but finding them and that piece of property itself, that's an awful piece of property when you look at what it was, the condition. And again, you're going to sink in every dollar you have, and you're not going to have a livable structure. You say that the reason you had to stop was because of Jeremy and bills, but there are videos of you talking about it before the lawsuits ever arise, and you're saying then I'm already out of money. So, I mean, that doesn't really jive with everything else I've heard. Again, make it make sense to me. That's all I'm asking. Just make it make sense. You say you want to put out your truth. Make that make sense to me. But also, while you're making things make sense, why don't you make it make sense how you've got these people out here pretending they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're totally your advocates and stuff, while they're still talking about how they're going to spend your money on themselves potentially. How it's a waste of money to turn the money that you have over to you. You know, they're asking the chat, who did not donate it to you, by the way. Not those people. Give us like a 2 in the chat if we should hold on to it or do whatever with it. Explain to me how that's advocacy for you. You're going to lose everything. But hey, explain it to me. Explain it like I can't see the master plan in that, because I don't think any of us can.
Randy says, so they didn't say to you, you got a condemned piece of property? That's all they said? You just have to rebuild because the structures were condemned? She goes, no, he never used the word condemned. Okay, so you're saying under oath that Levy County never condemned this property, these structures? No, he never used that word. Okay. And you believe it wasn't condemned because at some point in history, there were people living there before you actually bought it. By the way, there's been a tremendous amount of people dumping there.
Okay, so...
Oh, there's still people dumping there.
All of this, by the way, I'm watching... So I'm actually looking at the transcript. I'm looking at it right now. I'm following along in the transcript. And the stuff that Hales is talking about with condemned, you know, like all of this stuff here, it's part of this, you know. You can see like all of it is here. So he also he told her too, like before this, like he said, listen to this. He was talking to her as well. Look, Ransaram, when he was talking about Ransaram getting onto it, he'd said this, and again, we'll get to it all. I just want you to hear some of this stuff. He said, Michelle, let him finish the question. I know you want to answer. I know you are anticipating, but this is not a conversation, though. You have to remember that. This is deposition. And frankly, it's for your own benefit, honestly, in answering these questions, to do it that way. Let him finish, even if you know what he's going to say. Take a second. Give him the opportunity to object. Give me the opportunity to object as well if I need to. And Randy also is like, right, you know, your lawyer might want to object. So, you know, so please look at me again. Look at me, ma'am. Look at me, you know. In spite of your best efforts, if it happens one more time, we're going to take it up with the judge. So he keeps telling her. He's like, hey, look, you can't keep doing this. And her own lawyer, again, he's handling her with kid gloves. And I mean, she keeps interrupting. And he told her, you know, with this time. So this, by the way, it's 10:45 when she's told one more time, and this is going to be a problem. like I said, I'm looking along with what Hales has been saying, because I'm curious how his stuff matches up, and he has more detail. Because again, the transcript, it doesn't catch nuance. So when he's talking about how people act or they interact, their attitudes and expressions and whatnot, like that is much different than what you will catch in the transcript. But you can catch some behavior in the transcript, first of all, by what's being stated. And second of all, again, like you can tell, like Rand's Ram at the end was caught off guard. You can see some of that. But these right here, when you put all of this together, you can see this puzzle form, and you have all these pieces, and it answers. And what it says to me more than anything is that he is telling the truth. That is the most important part of it.
Buckets.
I'm gonna have to hit super chat in about.
It is 100 times worse.
Yeah. So just
filthier, smellier.
We're gonna
since
fly
the Great
through
Wall of Otter Creek went up. I can see everything. My truck is higher than the fence. It's horrific. Can't imagine a child living in that.
I'm going to set an alarm for.
So, because people lived there at some point in time, you thought, and there's no sign out there from Levy County saying condemned, condemned, condemned. You thought this was livable, occupiable property. No, I'm saying because he never used the word condemned. Okay, so this is a third reason now that you're stating in regards to why you were rebuilding, had to take the structures down. The man never said condemned. The representative of Levy County never said condemned. That means Levy County never condemned it? Is that right? She goes, yes. Okay. So in all reality, you never checked to see if Levy County condemned any of the structures. Is that right? No. Shocker. She saw dollar bills, just like Goose did.
I saw someone mentioning too that they want to see that, like, if there's a hearing that is public, you have the right to see it. Just remember decorum. There are people out there, I'm sure, that they would try to be problem. So what you do is just mute out everything, show up, and just sit, which I know all of you can do very well, but just remember, always observe decorum and be on your best behavior. Like these folks, they are just looking for ways to sabotage shit. So if they pull some BS, you make sure that they get nailed for it. Because again, I would rather people see these things. I would rather when you talk about them, if it's public, again, you 100% have the right to be there. And yeah, like it was really telling for me when I sat in and I watched, Lips, like I said, I would not believe like the stuff that Jeremy talked about with the last Lips hearing. Oh, he was 100% on. We talked about what was in there. They talked about and they lied so much, man. They lied so much in the way that it came together. They lied about how like Randy, for example, Randy put in one sentence. I mean, quite literally one sentence, and Lips threw in and got in trouble cutting him off. But they were like, well, the reason she got in trouble was because he was in there and he was just hogging all the time. He got one sentence out of his mouth and she interrupted. So, I mean, to see it real time and to see the reality versus the lies and the stupid, it's kind of amazing. And it's kind of amazing. Like some of these are not, of course, public hearings. I wish some of these were public hearing, but like this, a deposition, of course, that's not a public hearing. And on top of it, watching Hale's videos on that, it helps out quite a bit too, because that stuff ain't cheap. You know what? I better go ahead and hit these super chats. I know me. I'm slow So let's do this real quick, because if I don't do it, it's going to be. I know, I just know myself. Let's go ahead and do that. I know we still have 12. There's no way. I thought we'd get there, but we had a lot on the day. We did a lot on the day, so it's pretty good. So Max Lab, thank you for the jewels there. Appreciate that. Hundo, thank you. Hey, what's up, coffee drinker? Thanks for the 1,000 jewels there. Air travel. I saw that come up. I like that. I don't think I've seen the air travel either. I don't remember it anyway. Some of them, it's going to take a minute for them to get drilled in my head. Lisa, thank you for the 100 there. Fun. What's up? Thank you for the 100 jewels with the high five. Woo, baby. Thank you. Appreciate it. Melody, thank you for the 200 gems. Oh, sunshine. That's right. Thank you. Bridget, thank you for the silver star. Bill, thank you for the gold coin. Appreciate that. Is that DK? Thank you for the happy poop. That's so weird when it says that. Gemma the what? Thanks for the happy poop. I like that too. And also, thank you for the silver star. Hazel Monday in gold. Thank you for that clapping seal. 250 jewels. Thank you. Appreciate you there. Is that Bexter? Thank you for the flower there. Oh, that's nice. I like that avatar. That's fun. What's up, Lisa? Thank you for the goat trophy. Heck yeah, he's mentioning goats. We're getting goat trophies. Thanks for the 1,000 jewels on that, by the way. Appreciate you. Deborah, thank you for the gold coin. Appreciate that. Mostly a harmless fuzzball. Hope you're doing good. Oh, man, 54 today. Heck yeah, well, you know exactly what that means, right? Happy birthday! It means happy birthday. That's right.
From both of us to you.
Happy birthday! Happy freaking birthday!
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
We love to have you here. Happy birthday! Here's to another year.
Thank you. Appreciate that too, and appreciate you mostly harmless. I hope you had a great day. If for some reason, say many a time, it is not a grand day, or even if you're like, it could have been better. You know what? Do over. I said it's okay. That's all that counts. What's up, 9-pin bowling? Hey, thank you, 9-pin. By the way, the girls have just gone bowling. I heard them bounce out. They're going to go bowl with the church folk. So my mom and my stepfather, they picked them up to take them out there. It was funny. They were so funny. Like that, you can tell, like the little one's excited because she's running all over the place. She likes to go bowling, or she likes to go skating if she gets a chance, whatever. But they get to go over there and do whatever they want. They get to eat pizza and goof off and have fun for like 2 solid hours. So they get to bowl as much as they want. So there's also video games and stuff like that over there. So they're excited. But that's what your name makes me think of. Appreciate it. And thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Those are awesome. And I do appreciate those. I'm real mean. I like that. Thanks for the 100 jewels with the marshmallow high. Thank you. Appreciate that. Frankie, thank you for the eagle there with the 400 jewels. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Selena, thank you for the silver star. Hey, what's up, Weez? Thank you for your 1 month membership. No statement. Big statement there. Welcome. Rick, thank you for the 22 months, baby. Rolling up on 2 years. Appreciate that for a show. That's awesome. Suzanne, thank you for the 500 jewels. Controller. Yeah, you know what? Was that a video game controller? I didn't see it come up. I got to go look it up. Give me a sec. I got to see. Let me see. Controller. I'm looking. Sorry. I have to look. I'm looking to see what's what in here. I'm checking them all out. I've never, You know, the jewels are such a new thing. It's kind of cool because I've never seen half of these things in here. You know, I've still never seen any of the really crazy ones and stuff. And I'm sure over time I'll see them all. There's the controller. Oh, yeah, there it is. Heck yeah. That's like a PlayStation controller too. That's cool. Look at, I had to know. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. Thank you. What was me? Thank you for the floating heart. Appreciate that. Mike, thanks for the gold coin. Lynn, thank you for the Sunday with the 100 gems. Thank you. Stats, thanks for the floating heart. What's up, Hazel Monte Ingle? Thanks for the 10 there. It's a mystery how these brain-dead morons manage to get through a day without running into a brick wall and wondering why I didn't move out of the way. That's assuming that that doesn't actually happen. It may happen to some of these people every day. I heard Gabe talking about copyright. You know, Jay did a flea cap where it was, and it really was like that. He was really spot on. But he was talking about, he was like, these people can't, they can't upload an entire video, and then you use it all everything that somebody put. It's like, what? and the Fats is over there being like, yeah, Gabe, yeah. And I think, what in the world are you talking about? He was so high though. You can tell, man. He was just, I mean, he was plastered. And it kept encouraging him to speak. And I was like, man, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You know? Oh my. But yeah, I wonder about that too. That wall. Silver Fox. Thank you for the 350 jewels. Finger heart. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. What's up, Lynn? Thank you for the 2 there. Hey, Tug. I was missing for a while. Hugs. Well, it is great to have you here. You know, and the crazy is easy enough to catch up on. Just remember, we've had a few major things that have gone on. Remember, Lynette Preston had a depot recently that she ghosted out of. We just had a Friday. We just had 2 major items pop where Lynette essentially got the about the last depot. They haven't even heard about this one yet, so that'll be fun. Bruce just got denied recently over his over his garbage, the practicing law without a license. He wanted a hearing, and they were like, nope. You know, you can't do anything with this. You are not part of this, so you have no right to actually ask for anything in this case. So that's moving forward. I think with that going forward, you know, again, I always wonder, it depends on how much you push them and how you make them go for it. But I would think they would take his license away for X amount of time. I don't know. You know, 6 months, couple years, whatever, you know, they'll take it. That's the way that usually works. But if you motivate them, if you piss them off, they might do it longer. But we'll see. And, you know, Bruce is going for the whole no punishment whatsoever. He doesn't want it at all. So we'll see how that goes down. It'll be real interesting to see. But yeah, there's been other stuff going on too. But those are your major broad strokes. And then you've got all this craziness, money, only me again, where they're attacking him yet again. Oh, I forgot to read those to you. Here, let me show these real fast. We got enough time. Yeah. We got enough time. Thank you, stats, by the way. Thank you for the sparkles. Look at these. I forgot to add these in real quick. Let me show you these. So they were like, again, you never asked anyone to send you any money at all. And if he, meaning only me, sent it of his own accord, there's no refund. There's no contractual obligation. And it was sent basically without being asked. Oh, what a bunch of dog shit. Like I said, if that happened, if it were me, they would not be singing that tune, would they? Look at these people, though, you know? Oh, well. Also, if you sent by a friends and family, I don't think you get a refund. I don't recall you ever being an employee of Only Me. You have no contract. Shoot, only me. Again, this guy gave $56,000 fucking dollars to these people. And they treat him like dog shit. Dude. They're like, oh, he's a shit stirrer. That was only me. I do remember him saying those in Tori's in the comments. I removed them, warned him to stop, and I also contacted Lisa. Oh, I timed him out for not following. You know, again, he's a monster. He's a shit stirrer. He's a piece of garbage. That's what they went with. Again, they motivate these people to attack him. He was the main giver of money. And you know, the person who got hurt for it is Lynette, because he ain't giving you any more money. Lynette, you didn't have to attack him like this. Your PR team did it for you. That right there would piss me off to no end. I'd lose my ever-loving mind if somebody cost me. I can't even imagine somebody sending me $50,000. I'd be like, oh my God, you know? Can you? Like, I've got a deck that needs to be built back up. I'd tear that sucker down and build it back. You know, I mean, I'm sure all of you in life, that would be massive, life-changing amounts of money. And to have somebody cost you that. And Lynette, you've seen this happening. You could have decried this person doing this. I certainly would have. But hey, what's up, Sailor Dark Jupiter, by the way? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. And I know you have been around for a while, too. And I appreciate you, you know. I know you have. You know, people are like, hey, that's not indicative of how long I've been here. No, but it is indicative of you backing the channel. And thank you for that. William, thanks for the 5. Every month that fence gains an additional value. Yeah, it's 66 hot plates. Exactly. It's funny because, you know, at one time it's like $20,000. These people all were yelling. And yet they told Levy County it was a $5,000 fence. You notice that? Like they told Levy County that. So it was in one of the Levy County FOIA things. So, painful, isn't it? Rest in peace, folks. Thank you for the laughing disco. 250 joules. Thank you for that. Linda, thank you for the floating heart. Appreciate you there. What's up, Blue Eyes? Thank you again. Appreciate you. 5 gifted memberships. Like I said, I love gifted memberships. So I appreciate people when they send them like that. That's amazing. Appreciate it. Oh, look at that too. I'll show her this. She'll appreciate it. Happy birthday, Bug. Yeah, she is looking forward to her birthday. Like next Saturday, we'll be busting out her birthday. So she is so excitable about it. She's like, oh, it's my birthday. You can tell she's excited. Hazel Monty, thank you for the laughing disco. 250 joules. Thank you there. Judy, thank you for the gold coin. Oh, man, look, what a time to be me. I love that name, too. That's awesome. Thank you for the laughing disco as well. 250 joules. Thank you. Timmy, what's up, Timmy? Thank you for the makeup brush. Appreciate that. James with the happy poops. And James, thank you for the $5 there. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. And they keep stalling to dodge court. Yes. And like I was saying before, courts seem to be taking notice. This is not the court to play with. Not at all. Pauline, thank you for the 100 joules with the marshmallow high. Thank you, Pauline. Appreciate that. Wonder Girl. Hey, what's up, Wonder Girl? Wonder Girl, I appreciate it. Like, Wonder Girl, again, I love to take an opportunity to shout out people that helped make the channel, period. Like Wonder Girl, always backed endeavors, and we would put out comic books and everything. And I very much appreciate you. I hope everybody knows that you helped make the channel. Like people like yourself, 2012. There's a bunch of you that have been around. I mean, Wonder Girl has been around since right at the beginning. So some of you I will remember forever. And I appreciate that. Wonder Girl, thank you. Oh, and thank you for the 400 jewels with the uncle alert. Thank you for that too. But no, I appreciate you for sure. Stats, thank you for the happy poops. Thank you. Something to bark about. What's up? I dropped the husky, of course. That's awesome. I saw it come up. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 800 jewels, and thank you for that. That really sticks there. I like it. I like it a lot. Just Jackie, thank you for the silver star. I have a question. Thank you for the thumbs up. Bill, what's up, Bill? Thank you for the 100. Thank you. I don't even know how to, like, when I say that, like I said, I scared somebody. They thought they donated $100 the other day, and they're like, "Oh my God, no!" And I was like, "No, that's the gems or the jewels." So, I don't want to scare anybody with that. But Greg, thank you for the gold coin. What's up, Bill? Thank you for the turn it up, baby. That's right. I like that one too. Thank you for the 800 jewels there. I like the turn it up. I think that's cool. Cynic, thanks for the 5. If Flea versus Megan Fox goes to Discovery, Megan will get to depose the Flea's landlord to ask about the phone call. Fun times. Fun times indeed, y'all. Yeah, actually, there would be all kinds of stuff you get to depose about. You know what else you get to depose? You get to depose 2L about money. Like, really, you get to depose them. And not only that, but you'd get to ask donors. Like, I would ask multiple donors about what happened. Why exactly do you have problems these days? Why publicly were you talking about these people and the project or the lack of whatever? Why was this discovered? Man, God, that would be amazing. Because they think, oh, just copyright. What these idiots do is you watch, they'll open the door for everything and its mother. They will. Megan Fox will eat them alive. It'll be amazing. You just bring in, see, they think that the amount of money they're going to bring in for $5,000, they're going to bring in some hitter of a lawyer. Oh no, you're going to bring in a real hitter of a lawyer. And you make sure you bring in somebody that will not only take them to task and hit them where they live, but will make sure that this is a cautionary tale where they get hit so hard with fees and more that they'll never want to do it again. They will become a laughing stock because of it. It'll be amazing. It will be amazing. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to it. Jen, thank you for the floating heart. I really am. I am looking forward to it. Again, nobody wants to have to deal with a lawsuit, but my God, I'd love, again, these dumbasses want to put me up with something. Oh yeah, I would love to testify. I would in a Megan Fox one. Oh man, why do we cover all of that stuff? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because somebody makes statements like, I don't know, grooming a child to marry. The worst things you could say about people. Oh yeah, they will sue me. Like I said, I'm going to countersue the shit out of them. And it will not be over some copyright or any kind of crap. It'll be over something that you can't write off. It'll be bad. Greg, thank you for the silver star. Appreciate it. Eshawn, what's up, Eshawn? Thank you for the 100 jewels with that marshmallow high. Heck yeah, thank you. Emmy, thank you for the 18 months. 18 months, yeah. Sharing my birthday week with Buck. Can we get a song? Yes, you can, of course. Of course.
Happy birthday.
Birthday. It's good to see you.
From all of us to you.
I hope it's happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
All right. Fun times, man. Let's see. I love it. And you better have a good birthday. You better have a good birthday. Anybody in that week better have a good birthday or else. But I mean, you better have a good birthday. You don't get a bad birthday. You won't have a do-over because you'll have a great birthday. A happy birthday to you. I appreciate you. Babs, thank you for the sparkles. And what's up, Special K? Special K, thank you for the 440 and the Uncle Alert. Appreciate that. Let me do a redirect. Give me a second to set this sucker up. I've enjoyed it today. It's been a fun live stream. I wish we would have gotten to the end of that. But I mean, again, the one thing I did want to confirm is that what Hale said happened there. Man, I got a depo in front of me. So I can confirm that what he was stating happened there. Yeah, it actually did happen. So when these people were saying, oh, it's a lie, first of all, they wouldn't have known. They took someone else's word on it. But on top of it, too, when you go through it, we have the answer. All right. So there it is. Bam. All right. I'm doing a redirect. Now, again, you're going to have a special guest on. I don't know if they've noted that. So they will, though. They will. And I appreciate all you folks. Megan's channel tomorrow, unless something comes up. Let's see what happens. It should be exciting. See ya.